Searching for an HR consulting firm that provides solutions to all your HR needs?
Then look no further. We are an HR consulting firm that stands out. We have been in the business for the past 10 years and knows what it takes to create a successful HR business, policies and strategies.
Our secret, we are all about the people. We believe that everything will work in place when you put your people first. We work with companies of all sizes and industries to help customize their solutions to their unique needs. We don't just stop at recruitment, at sourcing, training and development. We will build relationships with our clients to help create a culture that values their people. Our clients don't just love us because we are a service provider. We are partners who are invested in their success.
Our team is made up of HR experts who are passionate with what they do. We are committed to integrity, honesty and respect for all. We believe in teamwork, collaboration and continuous learning. So, if you're looking for an HR consulting firm that puts people first, choose us.
Because when you invest in your people, you invest in your success.
Cheers to 10 years of putting you first.
Pleasure to welcome you once again to Ascentech Services Limited 10th anniversary. Theme: the redefining era of the new world of work. Ladies and gentlemen, it promises to be a very engaging time as we have an outline of very exposed, knowledgeable, professional speakers who will be doing justice to speak to the topic at hand and give different perspectives from their world of exposures. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let me welcome you as we celebrate together the people of Ascentech Services for their work, their ethics, their commitment, and their service in the last 10 years. So if you're here and happy with the Ascentech family, can we please put our hands together for them, please? Thank you. It's such an honor to have very respectable, distinguished fellows like yourself join us here today. And we want to very much thank you for doing this. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the person of Opeoluwa and Taiwo as we begin this very event with the national anthem. I will ask that we please kindly rise to our feet as we sing the national anthem, especially the second stanza, I'm told, together. Over to you.
O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and truth. Great love the heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You may please be seated. Indeed, peace, justice shall reign in our nation. Ascentech Services Limited is a full-fledged human resource solution provider, incorporated in 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, it has its head office in Lagos, Nigeria, committed to forging long-term partnerships with clients by creating and delivering robust and flexible services that address the changing needs of their business through core offerings. Recruitment and selection, outsourcing, training and development. To accomplish this, Ascentech Services Limited leverages on creating and managing change in organizations by improving efficiency through proven and dynamic HR solution. To welcome us for his opening remarks at the 10th anniversary celebration of Ascentech Services, celebrating a decade of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the mic Mr. Shiju for his opening remark. Let's put hands together for Mr. Shiju as he comes forward. We can do better than that, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here along with the great and greatest of Nigeria HR fraternities. So, first of all, I welcome all to the celebration. We welcome Federal Ministry of Labor Employment people, Lagos Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment, and all protocol observed. CIPM President. Special welcome to our customers, well-wishers. Without you, we couldn't achieve this. However, it was not an easy journey. People ask me, 10 years is not a great number, why you want to celebrate? I said, the things what we survived, we have to celebrate 10th year so that this will be a boost for coming many, many years. We saw many things in last 10 years, 2-3 World Cups, your Stephen Keshi's boys, Super Eagles was bringing glory to the country, and Ebola, COVID, and many more such obstacles. But we survived, and we are celebrating here. So thank God, and thanks to all the support from everyone. We Ascentech grown from 19 to 81, 81 to 150. Now, everyone will be surprising what is these numbers. These are all the numbers of my office. We started from 19, then to 81, and to 150. So even the numbers is growing. The door number is growing, so Ascentech is also growing. We are not just a business people. We are doing a lot of CSR programs. That's why we are having our labor ministry people here. We do engage with many of the other non-profitable organizations like Rotary, GIZ, kind of. Because we do a lot of programs in colleges so that they develop their skills and tomorrow they become our commodities. Because my clients are asking for quality resources for them. Maybe when today I meet somebody in the college, after 5 years, I will be placing them in some of your organizations. So we are doing a lot of CSR programs and we will continue to do. Ascentech is here to change life of young Nigerians, empowering the workforce, helping the organization to get the right kind of resources for their right kind of business. So thank you for coming. Welcome you all. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Thank you so much for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Ascentech Services at 10. Can you please help me look to your right and to your left and help you tell your neighbor, say you are welcome. That was on a low. Celebrate your neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to be an evening of celebration. One more time, can you help me tell the person on your right and your left and tell them, you are welcome? Okay, maybe let's do it this way, a little bit on a relaxed note. Thank you, my president. It was only my president that waved at me and said, you are welcome. I celebrate you, sir. One more time, can you help me look at your neighbor and say, my neighbor? If your neighbor is not talking, that your neighbor is a suspect. Is a suspect. One more time, let me look at your neighbor. Say, my neighbor now. Say, you are welcome. Oh, yeah, let me look at that your neighbor. Say, my neighbor, sir. Say, you are welcome. Oh, yeah, let me look at that your neighbor and say, my special neighbor. It's going to be a good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let me look at that your neighbor and say, my neighbor, sir. By the time you get home, you will have a good rest. Or let me look at them and say, my neighbor, your own company will celebrate many more years too. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for doing that. It's, like I said, it's a celebratory evening, and as we are also learning, we will also enjoy ourselves alongside. But right about now, we're about to go into the sessions of speaking. And to do us the honors of opening the speaking times is none other than a very respectable HR thought leader. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about, a minute please. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we're about to go into the experience of speaking, and to open the speaking line is none other than the HR thought leader himself. With almost 30 years work experience that cuts across major sectors, with proven track record in leading and executing strategic change. Ladies and gentlemen, he does this to me every time. He won't let me do his introduction because he's well known. No. To me, you want my, let me collect my balance now. Let me do the work. I'll collect my balance. Ladies and gentlemen, Yemi Fashion, please let's put our hands together for him. A keynote speaker for today's event. Please have a good time.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you very much. Thank you. My name is Yemi Fashion, and I humbly recognize all my HR colleagues in the house. And I know that there are many more people who can do justice to the topic given to me, the now of HR. So what I'll do is to, with nerves, quickly run through my presentation in about maybe 20-25 minutes so that we can have time to have more deliberation. So it's about the now of work, the now of HR. I remember that in 2017 was the last time Ascentech invited me to an event. We had that event at Sheraton, right? Yes, it was at Sheraton in 2017. I was just trying to hone my skills around speaking at that time, but it was a good event. And when I got the invitation that I was going to be part of this event today, I thought I was just going to come sit, enjoy good food, maybe good music, listen to some people. But then I was saddled with the responsibility of the keynote speech. So it's an honor to be part of the growth of Ascentech. It's great to see that there have been some things done in leaps and bounds. It was a very small organization about 6-7 years ago, but right now, the sky looks like it's the starting point. So let's move into my presentation. I'll just quickly talk about the future, the now of work. Because then in 2017, we were talking about the future of work. I remember that most of the conferences we all attended, if you remember, the theme of those conferences was all about the future of work. But we can't be expecting the future anymore. If anything happened to the world in 2020, it was the now. We thought it was IT or technology that was going to really change things dramatically for us, but technology was changing things gradually. It was in gradual steps. But something happened in 2020, and we all woke up one day and our world totally changed, literally, abruptly. For about 6 weeks, if you all remember, sometime in 2020, nobody could go anywhere. And it was a global phenomenon. It wasn't just about Nigeria or Africa or Europe. It was everybody. We were all in a state of apprehension. We all didn't know what was going on because COVID-19 came into our world. And then after 6 weeks, we went through a 3 year period where everything about work, the worker, and the workplace changed. Let me use this as an introduction to talk about the millennials. Millennials in the house, can I see you? Millennials like me? No, I'm a Gen Z now. Right? I see some ancestors raising their hands as millennials. Interesting. You see, before the pandemic, the millennials came into the workforce, right? And we were wondering, who are these guys? They could do things differently. They could use technology in a different way. They could solve business problems and challenges in a different way. But they also had their nuances, their behaviors, their own culture and all that. Remember? And we struggled. From a culture and leadership perspective, the older generation struggled with these guys. But what really always makes me happy is that their reign did not last for too long. It didn't last for too long. Who came into the workforce? The Gen Zs. And then the Gen Zs, some of those millennials were already becoming managers and senior managers and all that. And then they started managing Gen Zs. And guess who was sending the millennials to therapy every day? It was the Gen Zs. But as we're all thinking about that, another generation looks like we are starting the evolution of man all over again. And there's another gen now, the alpha, the generation A, the alpha generation. Like I said, looks like the world is starting all over again. It was X, Y, Z, and now we are starting from A again. But those are the changes that have happened, and it's impacting the place of work. We have conversations on leadership, on culture, on HR, on practices and processes almost on a daily basis. And there's some things we thought were okay for yesterday or last week or last month or last year. All of a sudden, we bring new situations into the workplace and realize that the policies of yesterday will not solve the problems of today. So HR is constantly, therefore, in a space of being dynamic. We can't afford, because the world is changing around us, the profession itself must also change. So the future has happened. We're in the now of HR. I'll talk about the evolution, the now of the workforce. And for me, the workforce is a combination of the worker and the workplace. And then we'll look at the organization itself, the now of HR, 3 domains that I see that we must constantly reinvent the profession. Otherwise, we'll become dinosaurs. And then we will close after that. Okay. So when was the last time anybody went into a bank to cash a check of 20,000 naira? Anybody? You literally drove into a banking hall and you drop a check and you say you want to cash it. When was the last time anybody did that? If you want $1 million naira now, how long will it take you? To move money or to collect money, how long will it take you? In seconds. So there were some professions that were seen as very, very, how do I put it? They were the pride of those industries in those years. Everybody wanted to be that in that space. But today, they've become dinosaurs. Who is still thinking of insurance underwriters when there is AI, when there are softwares to do that, when you can move things on the system? The bank tellers, remember, we started, I know a bank, I think it was Bond Bank. And this must have been around 2002. They wanted to differentiate themselves from the market when they got into the Nigerian banking space. And the first thing they said that we were going to recruit graduates as receptionists, as customer service people, and also as tellers, as a differentiating factor, right? But gradually, as technology was taking over functions and roles, the qualifying criteria began to do what? Began to drop. From school from first degree to HND, then OND. But today, If you go into a bank like Standard Chartered Bank, you probably don't need to speak with the teller to do your transaction. I mean, I bank with Standard Chartered, excuse me, Standard Chartered, and my relationship manager called me one day because I lost my relationship manager to Japa. She went to the UK. So another one called me and said, oh, my name is Peace. By the way, I'm your new relationship manager. All well and good. When are we going to meet so that we can have faces to our names? She said, Mr. Amy, I'm in Port Harcourt. Okay. I'm in Lagos. My relationship manager is in Port Harcourt. How does that work? But does it work? Yes, it works. The new realities, right? So financial analysts, inventory managers, all of that you can do now just by holding a device in your hand. So the now has happened. Even HR managers, just in case we are thinking that we are safe, we might not be safe. ChatGPT, right? Just ask it a question to write you a policy on maternity leave. It will give you almost accurate, just even say for Africa or for a country like Nigeria, so that you can be specific, right? It will give you something accurate in 20 seconds. A friend of mine wanted to read a poem on Lagos, Nigeria, on ChatGPT. And my friend instructed ChatGPT to write a poem about Lagos. When he sent it to me, I had to ask him, was ChatGPT referencing a poem written by a Nigerian or a Lagosian? He said, no, original. And it captured the very essence of Lagos. So if anybody is sitting and thinking, oh, my job is safe till forever, that's unlikely to be possible. Things are changing. And as we are moving jobs away from the horizon, and some skills are also becoming very unnecessary. Not that we don't need them, but those skills must evolve in the workplace. So what are we looking for now? Analytical thinking and innovation. And guess what? It's not about your degree. I am aware of many organizations who are recruiting undergraduates today. Remember that Nigerian labor law, we have to do something about that. You have to go to a university, you have to do NYC, right? After NYC, you now have to start work. You can't be in full-time employment for certain roles if you've not done NYC. But so many of the undergraduates today are in seemingly full-time roles, but they've not even concluded school. Things are changing, right? Emotional intelligence, it's what everybody talks about every day today. The new skills that we require, talent is not enough. Your technical skills are not enough. It's a new world of collaboration and all that. Leadership, social influence, reasoning, problem solving, systems analysis and evaluation, and of course, digital. If you don't have digital skills, and this is not to say that tech is replacing roles, it's to say that all roles are now tech-enabled. You see the difference? All roles have become tech-enabled. So you can do what you're doing today, but you've got to do it with tech in mind. Otherwise, you become a dinosaur. So what are we looking for? Current thinking, or maybe the past of work thinking, was that there must be top-down communication. I am the boss. What must you do when I talk? You listen to me. We prioritize skills over behavior or culture at the workplace. You must be at work at 8 o'clock every day, commute from Omole to VI 2-3 hours every day. You must be at your desk. Is that the same today? Absolutely not. If you give a young graduate $1 million a month today, and you say you can also get vacation days of 30 days, we'll pay for your medical and all that. This is the offer letter. Do you have any question? Who can guess what the question will be? What will be the question? Can I work from home? That's it. Not that the money isn't important. Take home must still take them home. But beyond money, there must be meaning. Beyond salary, there must be sanity. And beyond promotion for them, there must be purpose. So we're looking at open communication now. We're looking at behavior over skills. We're just not enriching shareholders or management staff of the organization. Everybody is saying there must be something in it for me. So when I'm going through that process, even as a candidate, my candidate experience as I'm going through the organization is I'm asking myself, what is in it for me? WIIFM. And it's not a radio station. It's just that I need to know what you have for me as an organization. Right. Moving on quickly. So the changes have happened. Then it was about digital migrants, the ancestors, the baby boomers and all that. They were grappling. I mean, there was a video clip that I put on my Instagram page recently where you have the generations. If you see some people, give them a laptop in this room right now, they'll be picking their keypads, right? But if you give the same laptop to a Gen Z is looking at you and is typing away, and the mistakes are minimal. I don't want to say there are no mistakes, but the mistakes are minimal, you know? So, but that's the reality, because they are digital natives. Do you have nephews and nieces who are 2-3 year olds, and you give them your iPad and go away for 10 minutes? Come back to it. They will have gone into some apps that you didn't know existed on your own device. You paid about $1 million to get that device, but you didn't know those apps existed. And if you're not very careful, give them additional 2 or 3 minutes, they'll crack your passcode. Because they are digital natives, born into digital. We moved away from forms to apps. Gone are the days when you resume and HR had the, HR was very powerful. HR would say, oh, please come into the conference room. And then you sit there for like 3 to 4 hours. What are you feeling? Forms. And then they'll come after 30 minutes. Are you okay? Can you give you coffee and tea? But right now, the new generation is going to ask you. I mean, you knew I was resuming today, right? And we were communicating. You couldn't send all these forms to me via an app or something so that I could fill these forms. We need to move with the realities of the now of work, basically. Before I move away from there, I want to talk about remote working. How many people still travel from the mainland to the island on a daily basis to work? Anybody? The things that you go to do on a daily basis, and I'm looking, don't look away, look at me. The things you go to do on a daily basis, can you do them at home? Can you? Or can you do some of them at home? We can, right? I remember last year, when diesel prices went as high as 1,600, virtually all organizations responded by saying, we'll start closing at 3 o'clock. Who remember that? And then as soon as things normalized a bit, what happened? Everybody come back to work. I am totally aware that not all jobs can be done remotely. My driver cannot say to me on Monday next week, now, okay, I'm working from home. we will have a separate conversation. Or you cannot be in a plane at Heathrow coming back to Lagos and on the PA system, the pilot says, welcome guys, we are taxiing already, but I'm working from home. How many people are going to jump out of that plane from the window? So yeah, not all jobs can be done from home, but if it can be done from home, then it can be done from home. But a lot has changed. You can't tell the current generation that they can't do PP. The older generation grew up with the idea that they can't do any PP. It's your job 8 to 5, it's your job 8 to 5. You can't do anything else. But if you tell the current generation that they can't do a side hustle, you're just wasting your time, because they are probably going to agree with you, but I promise you side hustle is going on. Face beating is going on, isn't it, ladies? Photography for the guys, events management. I had somebody who was managing 3 or 4 Uber cars on his fleet. My subordinate, I'm like, I'm still sleeping, You know what I mean? But that's the reality. The transition has happened, and that transition is shaped by the things happening globally and also locally. New behaviors, new technologies, the millennialization of the workforce, mobility, JAPA. The opportunities are now unbounded for the current generation. The things that we couldn't do because we're doing 8 to 5 and we're loyal to the organization, even if the boss was hitting us on the head every day, we look forward to going to work. And then when you tell the younger generation that, yeah, those things built us up for resilience, they say, no, you guys did what? You suffered. And they're not going to go through that. So the changes that have happened from a Dave's perspective, he said that we moved from the HR administration, the personnel management era, you remember? We moved into practices where we're now looking at the body of policies and processes for HR. We moved into HR strategy, and then we're looking for HR business partners. It became a thing, yeah? That way. But Dave is saying that we are currently in the space of HR for context. It is the context of the organization that determines how HR must respond literally on a daily basis to how it must support that organization to win. So what's the context of your organization? What's your sector? All of that, HR cannot sit in the space of just rolling out policies and rolling out processes. It is understanding the context of the organization and therefore be able to support it towards winning in the marketplace. So we are moving, where were we? We were the HR mega message. Let's do HR inside out. Let's administer HR. Let's link HR to strategy. But where we're going, or where we should be right now, is in the space where we're looking from the outside in. It was HR dictating the pace for the business at some point. But no, not anymore. It is the business that must dictate the pace for HR. Because HR is about business, and I think that's what Manu Michael would say. HR is actually business, and business is HR. We can't separate both anymore. The people is the business is the people. So we must understand that business and understand that we are therefore doing things from a business perspective, not because HR wants to win, but because the business must win. We're moving from a place of driving pure internal efficiency to, number one, understanding the business context and therefore define value through the eyes of not just employees, but also customers. Because if you understand the full vertical of how the business makes money, we will understand that we should start also from the customers. So let's not think that HR is not involved in sales, or HR is not involved in supply chain, or HR is not involved in customer service. We are involved in all of that so that we can drive value for the organization. We are moving away from building talent and improving employee results to a situation where all we're doing is, one, increase employee productivity because no business, no HR, no people. Improve organizational capabilities from a culture process perspective. And this is the one that I like. Ensure that leadership understands what it should be doing. Because transformational HR is totally impossible without inspirational leadership. And the last one, what should we do? Restructure HR department. That's what we're doing. But now we're saying, let's build a fit-for-purpose HR department. So the shift is happening, or the shift has happened. Now, the three domains that I was talking about, the workforce itself, alternative workforce. If you tell, I'm sure you know 2 or 3 people right now who live in Nigeria, but they work for companies outside the country. Yeah? Anybody? As I speak now, what time is it? Okay, I know somebody who woke up about 2 hours ago, started work about 1 hour ago, because he lives in Omali and works in Brazil. My friend's son. And he said to his dad, I didn't know that life is this easy. I could stay in Omali, work in Brazil, and is any work currency? Dollars. So the alternative workforce that we're all running away from has happened now. I know individuals who, and somebody just yesterday, a young person who's the legal department of a multinational, but she's like an executive assistant, but she's going through some moments of uncertainty concerning career. And the last question she asked me from a mentoring perspective yesterday was, Yemi, can I start my own consulting? I'm like, no, calm down. Right? Because the new generation is always looking for opportunities to do additional things or to do more. We can't gag them anymore. The alternative workforce is here to stay. We are moving from one job, 8 to 5, 35 years to super jobs. An individual can move from sales to HR to supply chain to anything once the transferable skills are existent. And guess what? The opportunity to pick up those skills are so available now. And at times, free. On LinkedIn, on Coursera, so many platforms offering free opportunities to people to literally be super job holders rather than do one job for 25 years as it was in the past. And leadership, I mean, that's very close to my heart. Leadership, the leadership competencies that were great for 25 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, if you continue with the same leadership competencies in today's now of work, you are just going to wake up one day and you realize that nobody is in the organization. Because leadership must drive culture. Leadership must work hand in hand with HR to drive culture. So HR needs to focus a lot on leadership, the intersection between the traditional and the new. And guess what? The traditional is going away. It's giving way at a very, very fast rate. Winding down gradually, the now of the workplace itself has changed. We are moving from employee experience to human experience. People have said that we should put back into HR, right? No, I'm saying that let us put H back into human. Because it's not just about HR, it's about leadership, it's about the entire organization, right? The organization performance is realizing more and more that teamwork is more important than individual contribution. Because people can be in any part of the world and they can work together because of the leveraging opportunities around technology, isn't it? So we can have Ascentech Nigeria, Ascentech Ghana, Ascentech Australia, and we can have a team representing the different localities, and we can still do projects, can't we? Yes, we can. So we need to realize, therefore, that things are changing. The rewarding individuals is giving way to rewarding teams, because teams make organizations. And of course, from a reward perspective, we also need to close the gap. HR itself, it's no longer about talent acquisition. In fact, if you see anybody who's still using talent acquisition manager, this is probably the time for us to change that particular role. We're not acquiring talent anymore. What are we doing to talent? What are we doing to talent? We're embracing talent. You know, remember that at some point we're looking for talent, right? And we do everything possible. We ask questions. But today, talents are the ones asking us questions. And they ask those questions before they come for the interview. They will have asked their colleagues. They will have gone on LinkedIn. They will have gone to Glassdoor. And I have very many instances of younger people who said to me, Yemi, finally I got another job. I'm like, congratulations. And then a week later, Yemi, I'm not resuming. What happened? I heard X, Y, Z about the organization or about my manager. So a lot more change around how we view talent. We're not acquiring them. In fact, talents are acquiring organizations in the now of work. Learning is in the flow of life. A hotel will have lost a lot of money now between 2020 and 2023 because every training will go to a hotel or will go to Radisson Blue or will go to... This is Radisson Blue. So that we can have a training in a classroom like this. But training has become something that is in the flow of life. As we're here now, some people might be in a training class. Let's not kid ourselves. Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. So, like I said, training is in the flow of life. All that is changing and talent mobility. But let's win the talent war from the home front. And this is where I want to talk a bit about JAPA. I know that many organizations and many leaders are panicking about the JAPA syndrome. And what I say is don't panic, plan. Those who have gone, there is literally nothing you can do about it. They've gone, right? But you still have a captive workforce. Like you're all listening to me now, you are my captive audience. You don't have a choice but to listen to me, right? So those who have not resigned, they are still the captive audience. What can we do to make sure that we extend not just the physical contract of employment with them, but the psychological contract that they have with the organization through the right culture, through the right leadership, and through the right employee experience? So what must change? The enablers of HR have changed. The mindset, the focus, the lenses through which we see HR, all that has changed. So let me leave you with the new leadership competencies for HR if you've not started this journey in the now of work. Business acumen. We've said it. If you don't understand the business, you can't support the business. Data mindset, design thinking. Lara cannot have enough of that. We'll always talk about design thinking. Creativity, collaboration, and communication. Diversity and inclusion, not something we mouth anymore. It has become part of what must be done. Must be done to the point that the CBN actually regulates the percentage of women on the management and board of banks in Nigeria. It is that serious. So HR must be conscious of it. And this is not just about gender. It cuts across different areas. Diversity and inclusion is not just about gender. If you have an organization where the entire workforce are ancestors, what are you likely to get? And if you also have one where the entire workforce is made of Gen Zs and millennials, what are you likely to get? It won't work. We need the wisdom of the old generation, and we need the agility of the new generation as well. Tech-driven HR, cognitive flexibility, thinking about different things and how they impact the business almost literally at the same time, critical thinking, complex problem solving. These are the areas where the business or the businesses that we support as HR people are looking at us for value-adding daily advisory. Somebody asked me yesterday and said, Yemi, is it that they don't give HR a seat in the room, or HR is not entitled to a seat in the room? My response, if we have all of these resident in HR of the now of work, then HR will be invited into the room. In fact, there will be a special seat for HR in that room. So let's rethink HR. Let's refresh leadership. Let's refresh the human experience that we give the employee or the workforce. Let's also refresh how teams are constituted. We also need to rewire the alternative workforce, change your policies, accommodate them. You don't have a choice. The tech guys, if you want to keep them and say to them that they work with only you, you're just kidding yourself. It's not going to happen. And it's moving from tech to other professions as well. So you need to rewire how you look at your alternative workforce, how you access talent, and also technology around HR. And let's recode super jobs. Let's recode talent mobility. Mobility within first, then without. Your captive audience, what are you doing with them so that you can have a solid succession plan in place? When people japa, let's go to the bench strength. So if Arsenal is playing, up Gunners. Thank you. So if Arsenal is playing and you don't have a solid bench strength and you are playing against Man City, the results will be 3-1. Okay. And then, but I mean, I support Arsenal, but that's the reality. Your bench strength must be solid so that when people japa during the game, there is injury, or they're not playing very well, where do you make a recourse to? Your bench strength. So win the war for talent first within the organization before we start going out for other talents. That's where I'm going to stop. Thank you very much for listening. All right. Thank you.
I think we can do better by giving a round of applause to our keynote speaker, Mr. Yemi Fashion of the YF Network. Thank you so much once again for that very thoughtful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, because of our time, we will be moving on straight to the unveiling of the Indian branch of Ascentech Services. But yes, it's a good place to clap. It's a good place to clap. And just before we do that, I want to quickly acknowledge and say a very special thank you to the president of CIPM. He was here. He's been in the house early, and we're so delighted to have him. Please, let's celebrate and make welcome Mr. Olusegun Mojeed, FCIPM. Is he still in the building? Thank you so much. In absentia, we celebrate and appreciate you, sir. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience. He's had to quickly get out to another meeting on the island, and we celebrate and appreciate him. Also, the registrar, Ms. Oluwatoyin Naiwo, FCIPM. Please, let's give her a warm welcome. Team Lead People Experience, Oluwayemi Ogundano, ACIPM. Lead Learning and Consulting, John Mote, ACIPM. Team Lead Exams, Yinka Oyedere, ACIPM. Also Brands and PR, Eniton, Tanimowo. Thank you for the correction. Research Fellow, Dr. Olumuyiwa Oludayo, MCIPM. Please, let's give him a warm welcome. Thank you for joining us. And of course, the very respected, immediate past president, CIPM. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than the very revered Mr. Wale Adediran, FCIPM. Thank you so much. We celebrate you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Ministry of Wealth, Mr. Biodun Onoyele, the Permanent Secretary. Please, let's give him a warm welcome. Aisha Anima Shaun, the permanent secretary, also PA. We celebrate you. Thank you for joining us. Mrs. Folashade Alabi from the Employment Department. Thank you so much. We celebrate. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Emi Fashion talked about women and women in position and power. And I think it's on that note that we should give a very special welcome to a woman who knows our honest. Ladies and gentlemen, the very revered, respectable, Honorable Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment. I'm talking about none other than Mrs. Yetunde Arubieke. Please, let's give her a warm welcome and celebratory applause. Thank you so much for joining us, ma. By the way, you look very beautiful, and we appreciate you for joining us. God bless you, ma, for all that you do. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite for the unveiling immediate past president. He has been transferred the responsibility of doing this to come forward for the unveiling, the person of Mr. Wale Adediran, FCIPM, past president CIPM, to also be joined by the very revered and respectable Honorable Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, the person of Mrs. Yetunde Arubieke, to also please join. Also to join them for the unveiling, the person of Mr. Yemi Fashion, our keynote speaker. Yeah, it's a good place to clap. It's a good place to clap. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make for emphasis sake, this is the Indian branch of Ascentech Services, and it is there to give support service to the Nigerian office. And if you understand what that means, Ascentech is extending to India and still having support system for their Nigerian branch. I think it's a good place to clap one more time for Ascentech Services. But ladies and gentlemen, as we'll unveil, let me let you know that this company would not be called Ascentech Services. What it will be called, you're about to find out. Let me not do like Steve Harvey that called the Miss World, give it one name, and give it the one that won and give it to another. Before I give Ascentech Services another name, and I begin to trend on social media, let me let my honorables, invited personalities who have been invited forward to do us the honors of unveiling the name for the Ascentech Services in India. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will please put your hands on the red curtain, and I will be spelling with you walk now. Can we do that together? Walk now. That is what we will be spelling. And at the time we spell now and speak what it means, we will unveil this. Are we ready? We're ready? Somebody give me W. Somebody give me O. Somebody give me R. Somebody give me K. Somebody give me that super N. What do you give me? An extraordinary O. And give me a superlative W. And what do you have? Come on, put your hands together. Ascentech Force. Ascent Force. Ascent Force. Ascent Force. That is the name of the office in India. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Cameraman, are you taking pictures? Are you taking pictures? Let's let the lights finish before we make our seats, go back to our seats. Please, one more pictures, please. Don't worry, the light you saw is not Boko Haram. We are all safe. We are all safe. Ascent Force. Thank you so much, Ascentech Services, for creating platforms for empowering young Nigerians, helping them to have a path in career, and for doing amazing things for our companies and contributing to the economy called Nigeria. Thank you so much. You can please make your way back to your seats, beautiful people. Next on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is a highly respected leadership and career success coach with almost 30 years of experience as a strategic business leader with a strong background spanning various industry verticals such as multidisciplinary engineering, information technology, hospitality, financial services, is been highly sought after professionally in the field of human resources and management for over 19 years. From March to August 2017, served as the interim CEO and head of HR at Let She Go MFB, a national microfinance bank in Nigeria. Currently the head of people and culture at Let She Go Nigeria, where he has contributed significantly to the organization's growth and development. He has a vast experience and influence that has earned him numerous awards and accolades, including recognition as one of the 100 most influential global HR leaders in 2018 and one of the 101 global HR heroes in 2019. Additionally, he was named top-rated influencer on the most inclusive HR influencer list by Social Micol in 2019. And in the same year, he was recognized as one of the top 50 personalities on LinkedIn in Nigeria. In 2020, contributions to the global HR community was further recognized with several honors, including the distinction of being among the 501 most fabulous global HR leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a top and one of the biggest voices in leadership, a subject matter expert in SME with the CIPM Nigeria and HRCI USA. Serves as a member of the HRCI Certification Council. He's also the founder and host of #HR with EM, a platform that provides an opportunity to connect, learn, and share on everything leadership, career development, and employee experience. The Nigerian HR community has affectionately call him the HR celebrity. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion of Ascentech Services at 10, please help me make welcome to the mic, Emmanuel Michael. A round of applause as he comes up for his speech. Thank you for doing it again, sir.
Thank you very much. That was a very long one. I thought you were just going to read the first paragraph and we move on. Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ascentech, for the opportunity to share with us. So I'm just going to follow suit with what YF has shared. He has mentioned a bit about ChatGPT. And so my conversation this evening is going to be focusing on ChatGPT. Basically, we'll be talking about how do you navigate in your career. So basically, the topic is on navigating career transitions in a ChatGPT world. So today, everyone is talking about ChatGPT. So we're going to look at, in your career, how can you utilize this particular tool? When we came in, two of the people sitting close to me had not experienced it and wanted to. So we had to just go through a small session of how do you actually even begin to use this. So I expect that at the end of today, you will also want to explore it if you've not explored it. So there's nothing to be afraid. It's technology that is out there to help us to get better. So I'm going to talk about what is ChatGPT, how ChatGPT is changing the workplace. Yemi had mentioned a bit about that. The impact on career transitions. How does it impact your career transition? You want to move from one role to the next role. What is the advantage? And then we'll look at the limitations. Yes, it has advantage, but it also has limitations. And for those of us who have used it, you know that as soon as you sign on that very first page, you will see some of the limitations. It can't do everything for you. It can do some, but it can also do wonderful things. How do you then incorporate ChatGPT into your career transition? Let's say, for instance, you want to change role. How can ChatGPT help you to get that done? Then there are some ethical considerations. You know, you provide data. What sort of data do you share with this device? Is a public utility, is a public engine or machine or whatever you want to call it. So is it appropriate for you to just share everything with this particular OpenAI? And then we'll then conclude. Okay, so what is ChatGPT? So OpenAI, the guys who created ChatGPT, said it's a large language model. And being a large language model, what they are trying to let us know is that you engage and interact with it like the way you interact with the person sitting next to you. Okay? You can then ask a question. You can introduce yourself and say, this is who you are, and then ask a question. And the system will respond to you, just exactly like your fellow human being would respond to you. And some other thing that it does is that, in organizations where you have customer service people, it can actually serve as the customer service person. But it therefore means that the system will have been trained enough to know exactly how to respond to those challenges. And then if you can also use it for content creation. Say, for instance, you have a memo you want to write. Jamie talked about a poem that was written about Lagos that was almost 100% or 90% accurate about the area. So you can use it for that. Maybe you have a presentation or a memo. Some people have even used it for their academic essays, but you also need to check to be sure that you are getting the right data. So the GPT, you then ask, what exactly is this GPT? The GPT stands for Generative Pre-Trained Transformer, which refers to how ChatGPT processes requests and formulates responses. So it doesn't just know everything on its own. First, it needs to be trained. And after this training, what then happens? It begins to learn on its own, begin to aggregate all the information that is available, and now it's able to predict and do something more for you. Okay, so that's what ChatGPT is all about. In the workplace, how is it changing the workplace? So there are three major areas where it impacts the workplace. The first one I've talked about, it can serve as your customer service person. So you have chatbots. Even on your phones, sometimes we have these WhatsApp chatbots. It's a form of this ChatGPT. And for those who have integrated properly with ChatGPT, it can provide solutions to your customers when they have a challenge, they ask questions. It will be interacting with the person. So if you have it on your phone and you begin to interact, you ask a question, okay? It provides you an answer. You can actually ask a follow-up question. And then sometimes, even if it goes wrong and you tell it that, okay, what you've given to me is a wrong answer, the system is intelligent enough to even apologize to you for providing you a wrong information. So your tasks, if there are mundane tasks that you carry out in the office, you can automate those tasks, those repetitive tasks. Say, for instance, in the office, just like you maybe have the HR department, you have a policy document, and people are always asking what is in this policy, what's in that policy. Instead of each time someone makes an inquiry about the policy, you have to go and pick up the policy to check it. The system can automatically provide a response. Then predictive analytics. If you share, say, a historical information with the system, it can help you predict what is going to happen. Looking at the trend, it can project and predict for you what the next outcome is going to look like. So this is the way it's been impacting the workplace. Now for your career transition, what is the impact on your career? So the first one there I put in is career advice and guidance. Yemi talked about if you're an HR person and you are not in tune with what is going on, you might actually lose your job. So what is happening today is that ChatGPT can actually provide you with a career advice. Okay? Let's say, for instance, I'm in HR and I want to change to move to another role. I can share my bio with the system and say, this is my profile, but this is the kind of job that I want to do now. It can give me advice of the necessary steps that I need to take. We talked about, when we were doing the test this afternoon, my colleague decided to ask it for meals, okay, 3-course meals and all that. And then the system started recommending meals, what you should take for breakfast, what you should take for lunch, what you should take for dinner. It can go as far as telling you, giving you the ingredients that you need to actually prepare those meals. So for your career, it can give you everything about your career, tell you the type of trainings you need to be able to get that done. The other thing it can also do for you is that when you want to attend an interview, you have the job profile, you want to, sometimes you hire a coach that is going to coach you on how to succeed at an interview. The system can do that for you. Provide a job profile, and then provide your experience, your own personal profile, and then ask the chat GPT machine to become the interviewer and ask you questions. And most times it will provide you a series of questions that you would expect at that particular interview. And you then provide an answer. It asks you the question, you provide an answer. If your answer is not good enough, the system is able to tell you that your answer is not good enough, or you don't even know how to answer such a question. The system can guide you. Sometimes people say, if I'm asked a salary question, how do I answer? It can actually guide you on how to negotiate. Even your job offers, the contents of your job offer, you can share with the system, and then it will help you find out areas where you think maybe those policies or those clauses are not favorable to you. It can help you with all that. What are the advantages? This is available 24/7. So if you have maybe a counselor, the counselor might not be there 24/7. So even if it's at midnight that you wake up and you want an advice, you can talk to the system, okay? It can provide you personalized guidance based on your unique situation. So if you find yourself in a unique situation, you just need to provide some base information and say, this is who I am, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So after giving that base information, then you begin to ask your question. And sometimes when you provide that base information, the system will acknowledge that that base information and then ask you, what next do you want them to do for you? As you provide that information, at the end of the day, if you thank the system for providing the information, the system will know it will respond to you as if you're talking one-on-one with someone. It's also unbiased. So far, it's unbiased, which can help to eliminate unconscious bias in the hiring process. So if you use it, say, in the hiring process, because it doesn't know whether you are from my particular tribe or somebody who is close to me, it treats every person the same. It treats every person the same. So that's one thing that the system does. My slide is off. Okay, so limitations. Number one, it's still a machine, so it needs to be trained. Okay? It's not a human being. So we're still smarter. So you still need people to provide information for it to be able to do its job well. Okay? It's because it's a machine, it may not be able to provide you that same empathy. Yes, it might empathize with you. When you share your situation, it will empathize with you, but not exactly the way a human would empathize with you. Then it may not also be able to take into account certain factors such as cultural differences, personal preferences. You need to explain those things to the system before you can take that into account. Now, how do you incorporate it into your career transition? It can be integrated into your existing HR system. So if you have an HR system, like in my organization, we have the employee self-service system. And so if you have any queries, questions you want to ask, let's say you are using the employee self-service system, it's not that interactive. If you integrate ChatGPT into it, it can be interactive. So let's say you provide an information and you didn't provide the right information, the system can prompt you that you didn't provide information. This is the kind of information that it's expecting. And then you can ask a question to give you that answer. It can also be used in conjunction with human advisors, okay, to provide more comprehensive career transition program. So instead of always having a human being attend to you, because you just have one HR person in that particular office and there are several of you who want to seek attention or get the attention of that person to say, okay, this is the challenge I'm having in my career. I need to know what I need to do next. You can actually use the system first, and then based on the feedback that you get, you can then touch base with the human who is in that particular office. So this is something that it can do and how organizations can incorporate it in their system. What are the ethical considerations? Number one, for companies who are using ChatGPT, there is need for you to actually disclose that you're using it, okay? So let the people know that you have this, and then the information can be out there. So if you provide some very high level security information to the system, you might somehow, it might find itself out there. So there's need for you to disclose that you are using that. And then for individuals, before you feed their data into the system, make sure you get consent of the people for them to know that, yes, you will be feeding their data into this particular system. Then companies also need to ensure that they are not just using ChatGPT to replace humans, okay? Don't say because you have ChatGPT, so we don't need that HR person. There are certain things that require some human touch. And so don't put the machine there and now say, okay, we take out everybody in the system. Use it as a tool. I think Yemi says that it should enable you to become better and not that it should replace you completely. Okay, in conclusion, so what should we be doing? I think the question we need to ask ourselves is, how can ChatGPT be used to enhance our career transition program? So if you've never used it, I encourage you to sign up or sign in and then begin to explore it and see how it can help you with your career transition. That's all that I have for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Michael. Once again, can we please put our hands together for Mr. Emmanuel Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still Ascentech services at 10. And we have heard from Mr. Yemi Fashion, our keynote speaker, who spoke on the topic, the now of HR. And some of the things to remember from his speaking is the fact that, like one of the ladies shared with me, the fact that we need to have a fit-for-purpose HR department. How many of us got that? The fact that we need to have a fit-for-purpose HR department. Then he also made mention about the now and the then. I hope all of us got note of that. He also opened to us that there's a necessity to have an enabling environment for more women participation in our organizations. And of course, Mr. Emmanuel Michael spoke to us about navigating career transitions in ChatGPT world. But right about now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to move into another segment of experiencing Ascentech Services Limited at 10. And to do us the honors is none other than a top strength person who has a strength in Realtor, includer connectedness, analytical strategic thinker, and a futuristic persona, demonstrated natural abilities in addition to functional expertise, which have grown over 18 years. A seasoned human resource senior executive with local and global best practices spanning across various industries. She has expertise that cut across business strategy, HR transformation, talent and career management, talent strategy, HR metrics, data analytics, organizational design training, total rewards, performance management, talent acquisition and retention, talent architecture, workforce planning, HR coaching, succession planning, NLP coaching, behavioral coaching, and etc. Also a certified executive coach that's passionate about helping professionals to discover their talent and unleash their potential to propel them for a brighter future. A global HR academy certified in global field, HR specialist from Cornell University ILR School in conjunction with Accenture. An executive education with Yale School of Management. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us to speak at the 10th anniversary of Ascentech Services, please celebrate a very distinguished woman as I respectfully call to the mic, Miss Omolara Yeku. Let's give her a round of applause, please. Come on, we can do better for a woman that is doing so much. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Standing on existing protocol, I would like to welcome everyone here this evening to celebrate with Ascentech. and congratulations, Ascentech. So today I'm going to be talking about the new competences required for us HR professional. YF and EM3 have done just this already, and I was just chatting with Hilaria, and I said to her that there's a way all our conversations this evening is interconnected. So today I'm talking about HR competences. YF already shared a slide and spoke at length in terms of what are the new competences that we require as HR professionals. The world of work, as we all know, is evolving. We now have ChatGPT, and like EM3 mentioned, there's a need for us to also train the tool. And for that training to happen, there have to be new set of competences that we need as professionals in HR. I think I'll just skip my slide straight to where I'm just gonna spend some time this evening to talk about the competencies that we need in the new world of work. Like what I've rightly mentioned, with the multiple generation that we have in the workforce today, with different behavioral traits, we have the baby boomers, we need their wisdom, we have the Gen Zs, and everyone coming together. As HR professionals, we play a critical role in harnessing the best of those multiple generations in the workplace. But the question lies on us: how do we now build competences? How do you build the right capability that will enable us to harness those talents in the workplace as we provide solution to our businesses? And more importantly, as we provide, like YF called it, value-adding daily advisory to our businesses. For that to happen, we need to have the right capability so that we can gain the trust of our business leaders, so that we can also gain the trust of our people as we demonstrate that in the workplace. When we talk about competencies, I really don't need to define it. It just speaks to the skills, the attributes, the behavior, the knowledge that we need for us as leaders in the workplace to provide those daily value-adding advisories. And I think it rightly starts from leadership. YF had spoken about that already. I won't flog that. But for me, I think leadership is really important. A lot of time when we talk about leadership, as HR business leaders, we all know that who dictates the culture of the organization? Who dictates the culture of the organization? We are not sure. Who dictates the culture of the organization? It's leadership, it's not HR. People have relegated that to the role of HR. Oh, HR, this is not working, HR fix it. That is not working, HR fix it. This employee is not behaving well, HR fix it. No. It is the leadership of every organization that dictates the culture of that organization. And like we all know, if we have the right strategy in place and we don't have the right culture, that strategy is going nowhere. Because culture eats strategy for what? For breakfast. That's it. So as professionals, we play a critical role in helping the leadership of that organization. Because I say to people, leaders can't give what they don't have. So our role is, how are we supporting our leadership to shape the right leadership for that organization? I'll tell a very short story. So there was a lady who mentioned to me about how she was finding it so difficult to just get our message across to our organization so that the MD CEO can understand the impact of his role in that organization. There was a time they were complaining about lateness. People were coming late to work. They had done so many things. Deduct from salary, as usual. When people don't behave well, what do? You deduct from salary immediately. And that way, toxicity sort of generates within the organization. What the lady mentioned to me that she did was she had to engage the leadership and the team leaders in that organization. And she mentioned how they need to role model the right behavior for that organization. They had a pilot run for a couple of months, I think about 4 or 5 months. And afterwards, they did a survey and realized that employees actually changed to a considerable extent within the organization. What am I saying? The behaviors that we want within the workplace, our leaders have to be the right role model to shape the behavior of our organization. So leadership capability is really important. It's one competence that as HR professionals, we need to build skills around, get clarity. What's the kind of leadership culture that you want in your company? When people talk about your leaders, how do you want them to come across? Those capabilities, we need to support the business to build it. Ethical practice, I don't need to overemphasize that. We're in a world now where everything goes. And that should really form the code of your organization. Companies have all sorts of core values. The core values are on the wall, but people don't live those core values on a daily basis. What are the things we put together as a company to really get people to understand what those core values stand for, and how do we drive and shape the behavior of people within our organization so they can really emulate? It starts from leadership. Business acumen. I've already talked about it. No business, no people, no HR. HR exists for the business. HR because I like people, because I like working with people. And at the end of the day, most HR people have really found it difficult to find a balance between your business priorities and your people priorities. It's usually the other way around. So you need to know what your overall business priorities are, what your overall business goals and strategy. And then from after that, what are your talent strategy? How do you enable your business achieve its goals through its talent? That is where a lot of times as HR leaders and professionals, we need to pay more attention to that area. So we are helping our business deliver its business result through its talent. And for us to be able to do that, we need to have strong knowledge of our business. A lot of HR people, professionals, usually don't understand how their business make money. It's important that we understand how our business exists, how they make money, what's the business strategy, the business goals, and what operating model is required. I'll talk a bit about the operating model, because we're in a world now where businesses are evolving, like we all know, and there's a need for us as HR to be very agile, like I've rightly mentioned. How are we quickly learning to understand what our business needs so that we are not reactive, but we are predictive? We can predict where our industry is going. We can predict the kind of people we will need, and how are we more strategic with our workforce planning. Those are the kind of competencies we need to start building now as HR professionals so that we can be advising our businesses daily. Consultation. I always say to people that sometimes as HR leaders, our role goes beyond just advisory. We are consultants to our business. So we really do need competencies in that area. Interpersonal skills. I'll link that to what YF said earlier around, as we are providing solutions for our business, understanding our customer is important. So it's not just the internal customer, which is our employee, but how are we building the right customer with our external customer as well? He did mention the need for us as HR people to understand our business a lot better. So it's not just HR sit down in your department, but you understand your business, you understand production, you understand supply chain, you understand procurement. You are embedded within the business, so that way you understand the business needs and you're able to bring on board your competences. Strategic mindset, YF already mentioned that. So talking about technical competences, for us as HR professional, still within these three domains, the people, the organization, and the workplace, relating it to what YF initially mentioned, there is a need for us to understand the various industries that we are in and the technical competencies that we need in our industries. HR functional area, I already mentioned HR strategic planning skills. Employee engagement and retention, I'll talk a bit around design thinking. Why? It's part of a skill that I believe HR professionals need to have, but we don't have it here this evening. And I'll start by sharing my own story. So I remember when I first joined my organization, Accenture, several years ago, 2008. I had found out that I love numbers as an HR professional. I was a young HR officer then, and I self-taught myself Excel because I loved numbers. I was staying with an uncle then who was an accountant. So anytime he comes home, I would go to him and he would teach me Excel skills. Lo and behold, a couple of months later, after I was teaching myself Excel, now we can get all of those online. I realized I had built a relationship with a friend who was in Accenture. I didn't even know him. It was just a random friend that I met at some point, and I built a relationship with him. Then later I discovered he worked at Accenture. So he reached out to me one day and said Accenture was looking for an HR officer, but someone who's very good in Excel. And I said, well, why not? So I put up for the application, and I got the job. Down the line, I evolved from my Excel usage within HR to taking on the payroll for Accenture at that point. And after a couple of years, I had to evolve to compensation and benefits to data analytics. And my skill evolved in that area. What am I trying to say? So as we continue to monitor our profession, let's be aware. Let's be aware of the current trends. Let's be aware of the industry trends. And let's be predictive in terms of how we are positioning ourselves, how we are building the right competencies and capabilities. I discovered at some point that as an organization, then with my former organization, we're learning design thinking skills, because the world was evolving to become more human-centered in our approach to how we solve problems in the workplace. And I realized that beyond just being an HR professional, for me to be able to stay ahead of the trend, I needed to build design thinking skills. And what has that helped me? It has helped me to understand how to apply empathy as we solve for businesses. Why I did mention that as HR professionals, we need to solve from outside in. And design thinking skills helps you to do that by understanding your subject matter, in this instance, your customers, your people, your business environment, and how you're able to bring that human empathy to solve problems at the center of what you're doing. So, in addition to that, it's really important that we need to also build data-driven skills. With ChatGPT now, with all that's happening, our strategic workforce planning have to move away from just being administrative. If you remember YF's slide, when he talked about the evolution of HR from being HR administration to HR practice to strategic HR, then HR and context. And for me, that sort of sums it up. Because when you talk about HR and context, he did mention the need for you to understand the context of your business environment. With clarity and understanding of that, you're able to have good knowledge, you're aware, and then insight on how you need to bring those value-adding advice to your business. The workforce is changing, but for us as professionals, as leaders, there is need for us to understand the right competencies and capabilities that we need within our organization. How are you leveraging on the impact and the knowledge of what is happening within your environment? How are you bringing it on the table to enable your business prefer better solution in how your business solve problems on a daily basis? So without any further ado, I would just like to wrap up by stating that very clearly HR competencies really needs to evolve in line with our organizational context, like YF earlier mentioned, but that has to come from deep understanding of our business, deep understanding of the kind of leadership capability we need to build within our organization, deep understanding of how we can bring technology, digital enabling skills to our work environment to enable us ensure that our people can bring their whole self to work. deep understanding of how we can leverage on data to understand our people and how we can use that in providing solution to our organization. Okay, so this just really to share very briefly some proficiency levels that might be applicable for us as HR professional. I find some very interesting here. Change management. You would agree with me with the extent of changes that is happening in the workplace. You cannot but have change management skills. You just have, I think, I'd like to just state here that these are some skills that you have to look within your own organization, within the context of your industry that you work, and understand how does this apply to my industry? How does it apply to my workplace? And what is the level of proficiency that I need to have within my workplace? My understanding of my business, my industry, the future of tech and the impact. How does ChatGPT impact work within my organization? Does that mean that I no longer need customer service reps? Maybe, it can be, maybe not, I don't know. But you just have to review and x-ray your current organization in line with what are the required competencies, proficiency level that I need to build within my industry across all these several competencies that I've highlighted here. I'll talk about one more. I think what I find really interesting for me is the data analysis and insight generation. As HR professionals, a lot of time people say, HR, we don't know numbers. Research has shown that CFOs they're a lot faster in making the CEO role or MD role. But HR people, we are not good with numbers. People say that a lot. But right now, I say to people that there's a lot of benefits that you can bring on the table within your organization if you can build capability and competence in the area of data analysis and insight generation. Understand the language of your business and tell better stories, more meaningful stories to your business with data. If you're able to achieve that, that definitely will gain you more trust within your organization. We sit on a lot of data within our companies that we are not harnessing at all. And there is a lot of opportunity for HR professionals in that area. Okay, I think on that note, I'd just like to say, if you can take a shot of this, please do. X-ray your current organization, the competencies, your industry against this, and then identify the new areas, perhaps they currently exist, that you need to build more competencies so that as professionals, we're able to provide more value-adding advisory service to our organization. Thank you so much. Yeah.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the beautiful, delectable, for that very powerful presentation. Thank you so much, Lara Yeku. It's still Ascentech Services Limited at 10, and we are still going to enjoy 3 more speakers on various topics, and it's going to be a delightsome time. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together for the beautiful Lara Yeku for her presentation. Thank you so much. By the way, I forgot to mention that Omolara heads the HR at Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC. It's such a joy to see women doing powerful things. One more time, let's celebrate womanhood. We can do that better. Come on, let's celebrate every woman in this building who are doing amazing things. Thank you so much. You know, somebody said some time ago that if you empower a man in a nation, you have empowered one eye. But if you empower women, you have empowered the 2 eyes. And imagine what you can see if you have 2 eyes functioning compared to if you have 1 eye functioning. I have a doctor friend in Ibadan. If you go to him to complain that you have eye problem, he would say, do you have one of the eyes working? If you say yes, he will say, too much is two eyes. One eye is enough to see. But in the case of empowerment, it's better to have two eyes seeing. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, for every woman who is contributing to empowerment, to development, to growth, to professionalism, can we please one more time celebrate womanhood? Thank you so much. And at this junction, ladies and gentlemen, please kindly fix your eyes on the multimedia screen as we share with you a short video. Media, please.
Searching for an HR consulting firm that provides solutions to all your HR needs?
Then look no further. We are an HR consulting firm that stands out. We have been in the business for the past 10 years and knows what it takes to create a successful HR business, policies and strategies.
Our secret, we are all about the people. We believe that everything will work in place when you put your people first. We work with companies of all sizes and industries to help customize their solutions to their unique needs. We don't just stop at recruitment, at sourcing, training and development. We build relationships with our clients to help create a culture that values their people. Our clients don't just love us because we are a service provider. We are partners who are invested in their success.
Our team is made up of HR experts who are passionate with what they do. We are committed to integrity, honesty, and respect for all. We believe in teamwork, collaboration, and continuous learning. So, if you're looking for an HR consulting firm that put people first, choose us.
Because when you invest in your people, you invest in your success.
Cheers to 10 years of putting you first.
My name is Ruth Opara. I work with Godrich Nigeria. I wish Ascentech happy 10th year anniversary.
My name is Sojo Basaya. I head the Human Resources function here at DK Group of Companies. I wish Ascentech all the best. I wish Ascentech continued success. I wish Ascentech greatness.
My name is Dekin Ariyo Francis. I work with Dufi Prima Food Limited. I wish them happy anniversary for their 10 years anniversary.
My name is Maya Halabi. I'm the managing partner for Pistachio Foods and Slow Cooked. I'd like to wish Ascentech a very happy 10th anniversary.
I'm Ngozi Uloma Onyojelem, the HR business partner for Godrej Nigeria Limited. This is wishing Ascentech Services Limited happy 10th year anniversary.
My name is Sunil Saxena. I'm GM Finance with Green Fuels Limited. I wish them all the best. They have completed their 10 years of working.
My name is Gopi Kutan. I am the finance head for Stallion Automobile Division. We wish Ascentech Services very happy 10th anniversary.
My name is Engineer Aziz Mukaila Matthew Adewale. I'm the construction manager of Shapoji Palongi Nigeria Limited. And I'm also wishing Ascentech a happy 10 years anniversary.
Hello, my name is Chukwemeka. Happy 10th year anniversary, Ascentech.
Hi, my name is Emanuela. I'm a HR business partner. I just want to wish Ascentech Services a happy 10-year anniversary.
Thank you so very much, Ascentech Services, 10 years of service delivery. Next on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, 20 years experience in information technology and sales with marketing. He's also had 7 years driving HRMS process in multiple countries in Africa. Speaking at the 10th anniversary of Ascentech Services Limited, where we celebrate decade of excellence. Please make welcome to the mic, Mr. Lowen Elias, as he comes for his presentation. Come on, room, let's do that better. Let's make him feel welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What to say about technology? Today I am here representing Ascentech Services Limited. As thank you so much, Mr. Siju, Ms. Rima, for signing us as your software partners. My name is Llewellyn Elias, and I'm presenting here my company called Endeavor Africa Group. So I'll quickly move to our introduction. The agenda of this presentation is introduction, then information systems in human resource management objectives, components of HRIS, uses of human resource information system, cost and benefits of human resource information system, and conclusion. So let me give you a small introduction of our company. We are Endeavor Africa Group, started a journey in year 2002. So Kenya, Nairobi is our head office, and in Nigeria we have spent good 10 years providing IT solutions to various customers into different businesses. And we as a group company, we have provided solutions in Africa for almost 22 countries with over 4,500 clients using our various different IT solutions. So basically, if I talk about information technology, my friend, Mr. Yemi, we have met decades ago in the same hall. Why I would say decades ago, because this gentleman is a celebrity in the fraternity. So he would really not recognize me because we met last November. That's why I said decades ago. In year 2022, we met for an HR gala where the gentleman was a VIP and we were one of the sponsors. Yes, thank you. So what to talk about information technology, because my friend has already covered, so I would rather go to my last slide and say thank you. Because he has already covered information technology, and all my HR fellow people, especially my speakers, they are so learned about information technology. So I would rather say thank you and just give a small introduction about my company. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are Endeavor Africa Group, and we are into software solutions. So that's why we are a software partner for Ascentech Services Private Limited. And we really congratulate Ascentech for completing 10 years journey in Nigeria. Yes, we have also done the same by providing our software solutions. And basically, what is information technology in human resources? So there are multiple areas where an organization, especially the team HR, needs to have analytical reports. Specifically, attendance system, because that drives in a lot of discipline into your human resources. Then payroll. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say one thing about payroll. You pay 1 kobo extra, nobody will come and return it back to you. And it's a fact. And payroll not only involves the remuneration, but it involves a lot of tax liabilities, which is derived by governing law of each country. So we are proud to tell you this, that by 4,500 clients in 22 countries in Africa, my payroll is one of the most celebrated product. So it automates. So basically, information technology automates a life cycle of an employee in any organization, starting from inception of a job to up to separation of that employee. Everything is automated, right? If I'm not wrong, yes, that's the fact, because information technology helps the human resource department to automate the entire life cycle of an employee, make them participate into leave, make them participate into appraisals, make them participate into travel plans. So all these things get automated. So abstract. Over last few years, the information technology has given a lot of insight on human resources as well. And it has enabled the human resources to do a lot of analysis. Because any organization, not only means based on their business culture, I'll tell you my journey in Nigeria. I have been 3 years in Nigeria now, and I have a lot of clients into plastic fraternity. But every organization's culture is different. Though they are into same type of manufacturing, same type of products, same type of people, same locations. In fact, if you go to OTA, every second organization is a plastic manufacturer. And if you see, the culture is completely different. And that's what the IT information technology helps the organization to do analysis, especially team HR, to do analysis on the culture of the organization, as well as the analysis on gender, how many human resources are there, then aging of people, then their qualifications, their talent, and as per the qualifications, what best they can do for the organizations. So I'll quickly take you to the, sorry. Okay, it's okay. The objectives. So basically it provides, the information technology provides the relevant database, okay, the number of employees. Like I'll give you an example. For time and attendance, it not only brings discipline, but it allows you to calculate overtime. It allows you to analyze late in, early exits, manage your leave, planning your leave. So basically information technology, we have certain products in the industry that are module wise. So each module caters information. So it allows you to provide timely information. An organization requires a lot of information. So HRMS solutions, they provide a lot of information like your database, employee information, their previous organizations, their qualifications, and each and every information about employee can be catered through information technology. So the important components of HRIS, I'll just take you through that slide. So there are 3 important components of Human Resource Information Center services, that is operational human resource information system, okay, and it gives you a tactical human resource information system and strategic human resource information system. So basically it provides a lot of data analysis, and all it covers the information about all employees, area-wise, as well as region-wise, as well as their talent-wise. So who are the users of human resource information system? The entire team can become the users. So basically it allows the organization to have employee self-services. Like we have a platform where employees can log in, they can apply for online leave, they can participate into appraisal processes, they can plan for their travel. Each employee can be assigned with various type of assets like IT equipments and other type of facilities by the organization, like most of the organizations, they provide car with a chauffeur. So all those information, because an asset is also important for all the employees in the organization. But how to get those analytical data? So information technology allows the organizations to get all that database for each and every employee and do the analysis like that. So cost benefits of an human resource information system. Basically it improves accuracy in terms of database, the number of employees in the organization, because most of the bigger organizations, they fear ghost employees. That's why they opt for an attendance system, an automated attendance system with the help of various type of biometric solutions. So we as an information technology partners, we can provide different type of attendance systems. Like there are technologies available in the market right now. We, as a partner to Vati Technology, it's a Korean company into biometrics. So we have 3 type of technologies already introduced in Nigeria. One is biometric with the fingerprint, biometric with card readers, and biometric with facial recognitions. So in Nigeria, we have deployed more than 1,000 type of biometrics with the help of Vati Technology, and it allows an organization to have a proper database of employees, in and out time of all the employees specifically, and not only in and out time, it can even used as an access control system, because every organization, I'll give you an example, that in some of the organizations, like I have a live example of 7-Up. So 7-Up, their head office has been done with an access control system, wherein specific departments cannot move into any other departments. Like for IT, now there is a specific room called server room. So only people into IT department who are entitled to enter that particular area has been marked as authorized people for that server room. So that's where we put technology into place, like biometrics, which helps you to do that type of restrictions. And that is how we add technology for human resources to manage their human resources, and specifically into time attendance. So that is the biometric technology. Then provision of time and quick access to information. So basically, a software allows you to have database, and it can give you database based on your divisions, based on your area. So I'll tell you, so for payroll, for example, you can have payroll analytical reports. Say for example, your payee calculation. You can have cost center wise payee calculation, NHF calculations, and other tax calculations automated into payroll software. So that where information technology can give you information in time, and then it gives you increased efficiency. So basically, an information technology can give you efficiency on your analysis. Like some of the organizations, they want analysis on leave. So in leave module, you can plan your leave for an entire year. So when your employees participate into leave processes, for example, you can ask entire organization to log in into the information technology system you are using, and then mark your leave. So that particular leave module can help to do the analysis, because that leave, say for example, if an employee marks a leave on a particular calendar page, say for example, marks leave in the December. So when he applies for a leave, automatically the information technology system sends an alert to HR as well as the employee he is working with, so that in his or her absence, the work can be taken care with the subordinators, like that. So this information technology system can help you increase your efficiencies, plan yourself well, and enable to focus on other strategic areas, right? So I'll quickly come to conclusion. Basically, information system plays a very critical role into HRMS. It gives you a lot of analysis based on your businesses, and not only it helps you to focus on just managing your human resources, but can help you to do more better processes and inbuilt more better processes for the organization to grow and help the organization to improve their businesses. So quickly, I will run through the some of the IT solutions we offer. So in human resources solutions, we have a product called HR Master, Time Master, Pay Master, Canteen Master, and Identity Master. So basically, HR Master is a product where we have designed it into module-wise. So any organization would like to opt for an information system into HR can go module-wise. It is not necessary that they have to buy the complete package. So some of my clients are only using my attendance system, which is called as Time Master. Some of my clients are using a combination of attendance and payroll. So they opt for Time Master and Paymaster. Some of my clients are using my complete HRMS solution. So they have gone with complete automated system from inception of a job to up to separation of an employee. Every activity of that employee is automated. The employee can log in self-service, they can participate into their own leave planning, leave applications, and then they can even participate into appraisals, they can plan for their travel, they can apply for travel advances, they can ask for training, and training can be done, means a lot of analysis is also done on training. There are a lot of questionnaires into the system. Then there is a lot of analysis based on the entire organization structure. So that is where my solutions, HR Master plays a role in. Then we have some security solutions also. We do a lot of analysis on security systems. So we do CCTV, we do perimeter security, we do access control system also. So based on organization's requirement, because security is also one area where HR needs to play an important role. So we do a lot of analysis for the organizations, and we do perimeter security as well as CCTV security and access control system. These are some of the financial solutions, basically called as Enquest. It's an ERP solution specifically designed for distribution businesses. Then these are some of my business solutions, like Smart Insure. It's a product for insurance organizations. And then we have a Waymaster. It is integrated with Waybridges. And then we have other solutions also. So we have partnered with various IT companies providing various IT solutions to our clients across Nigeria. These are some of our customers in Nigeria. So we have 7up on board, we have Dangote, we have 11 PLC, we have VP Group, we have Tolaram, we have GP, we have Indorama, we have Jazz Bank. So various organizations into different type of business structures, we have offered our HRMS solutions. And these are some of our partners. So our most important partner here is BitPlus Solutions from India, which has given us a very good IT information system, who have designed that system. And then we have Verdi Technologies. It's a Korean biometric company. And then we have Samsung, Bosch. These all are our partners where we provide services to our customers. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arun. I'm a colleague of him. I saw that all of people are very seriously and hearing everything here. But let me make it a little bit light. So we are saying that IT or information technology is required for all the HR people. But I say all HR managers are more IT enabled. You know, when you go to a doctor, he touch your pulse to know what happened to you. But a HR manager, when talk to an employee, he just asks, good morning. And the way the employee reply, good morning, ma'am. What happened to you? Something serious? So that means without touching the pulse, he knows what the employee is going on. So they are the Wi-Fi doctor for me. So please have a clap for all HR manager. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Please, one more time, let's put hands together for all HR managers. You all are doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for your presentation. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, and then let me say that we're first rounding up with a speaking engagement, and then we just have a few more things, and then this event will be eventually over. So please do not be in a hurry to leave the room. And let me also let you know that you had a tea break earlier. We also have preparation for a good dinner for you before you leave here today. And so I promise you it's still going to be an enjoyable moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the next person you would hear after this would be a very, very exemplary HR leader. highly skilled in facilitating organization accountability through culture, diversity, and inclusion. Change management also, alongside expertise in driving performance, leveraging strong cultural experience in human capital management and business leadership across diverse industries. Detailed-oriented, multilingual, strategic business professional with 20+ years experience designing human resource initiatives, policies, talent sourcing initiatives, and competency-based recruitment programs. Change management resulting in employee engagement, organizational productivity, and exceptional service delivery. She is adept in delivering improvements in human resource operations while sustaining organizational service through quality leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 10th anniversary of Ascentech Services, please make very welcome, with an applaud, a very respectable Hilaria Okolo, Head HR Commart Limited. Come on, please put your hands together and make her feel very welcome as she speaks to us. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a big thank you to Ascentech for the opportunity to be here to celebrate the 10th anniversary with you. And I wish you many more decades of success, both in Nigeria and all over the world. So this evening, I'm going to be talking about some home truths. Like the proverbial elephant, all the speakers have looked at it from different angles. And I'm also going to be talking about the trends shaping this new world of work. We heard from the keynote speaker, YF, about the evolution of HR and the fact that where we are now is a fourth wave. And that fourth wave, one of the characteristics is HR and the context. So we are going to look at the context because the context is very key. It is the context that determines how we should do business in these times, how we should act in these times. And I'm sure a lot of these things are things that we have all experienced in different ways, but it's important for us to know how exactly they impact our organizations and our employees. We know about the economic downturn. I mean, you don't have to go far. In Nigeria alone, there are a lot of things, pointing to the hardships, the fact that countries are in crisis, economies are in crisis. You go to Ghana, the latest term is about a haircut. And this is because government is faced with debt burdens. They don't know what to do about it. And they decided to give people haircuts. And that's about whatever investments you have in shares, in banks, in savings, except the government bills. They are going to deduct a percentage. So you have a saving and there is no guarantee that you are going to get 100% of your money. And that's the haircut. So all these things are taking place, and that is the context in which our businesses are operating in. That is the context in which our employees are working in. And what is the impact of this to our employees? We hear about, the culture of protest has been on the increase. Even in countries where you'll never hear that, there was one protest or another. It is happening now. You look at UK and Europe, so many countries reporting protest upon protest. And the major reason for these protests have to do with economic hardships, have to do with one unfair policy or undesirable policy or another. Climate changes we have extreme weather conditions in recent times. It's either very hot weather or very cold weather, and these things are impacting people at different levels. We have technology advances. It also comes with its own challenges. I mean, we all went through the COVID-19 pandemic, and we all experienced how things that we thought, processes that we thought we had gotten right, everything can be thrown out of the window in a matter of seconds. The exodus of talent, the Japa, it is a reality. I mean, why I've mentioned it. I remember recently I was having a conversation with a colleague, and he was like, all my friends have left the country. My HR mind was saying, this is probably a flight risk. So I wanted to lean in more to find out whether he was actually a flight risk too. So I said, what is your wife saying about it? He said she's putting pressure on me. She wants us to leave. I've told her she can go with my son, and I will stay here and work, but she doesn't want to. So I said, well, in my mind, I didn't say that to him, but I knew that it was just a matter of time. But then the thing is that it means that he's still hanging in a balance. He still wants to be able to work. And if the organization can provide him with that right environment, then it is possible that we can tilt the balance to our advantage. But if the organization becomes hostile, then immediately it validates his reason to want to go away. So all these trends impact us in different ways, and we need to be aware that this is our new world. This is the new reality. These things will not go away. They will resurface in different forms and at different times. COVID-19 came. We are all happy. I think last week, the World Health declared that, that was finally over and done with. But that could be just a matter of months. We are in a time of crisis, and it's very important that the lessons we learned during those times, we don't do away with them. We need to keep rehearsing them. We need to keep fine-tuning them. Because even for those organizations where we have decided that, all the measures, all the situational measures that we took during the COVID times, we don't need them anymore. We've gone back to 100% on-site, and things are going on as we used to be pre-COVID. We should not make the mistake of losing the lessons. We should not make the mistake of putting away those measures and totally forgetting about them, because we will need them. Let me give you an example. So I work in a manufacturing company, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, there was the option of working from home. But being a manufacturing company, not everybody could work from home. And one of our product categories had to do with hygiene and hygiene chemicals. And sanitizers was one of our products, and it was in very high demand. The thing was just produce. Sales was not a problem. What did we do? The production team needed to produce. They cannot work from home. Business revenue targets needed to be met. So what we did was to come up with a camping arrangements, on-site camping arrangements, which meant that the production staff, we made some temporary sleeping places for them within the office premises. We got mattresses, we got fans, things that could make them comfortable to stay there. Apart from that, we were giving them 3 meals a day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all paid for by the organization. They were getting weekly camping allowances, in addition to their overtime, for staying long hours in the office. Apart from that, we also had to think about, okay, so after work, how are they entertaining themselves? Because they are staying there morning till evening, and we did that for 6 months, from February to August, before we decided to put a hard stop to the camping. And you know what? I mean, people wanted the camping to go on because they were being well looked after. They were being well looked after. And that tells you that, once we put the employee at the center, it unlocks their hidden joy. It unlocks the creativity. It unlocks ownership, and we are able to meet our business targets. Of course, did our employee costs increase? Definitely. It was a lot more. But then, did we get return on the investment? Yes. I mean, people didn't care. By the time they wake up, by 6, production have started. They could work, round the clock. They were not complaining. We were meeting our targets, and the employees were also fine. So in this new world of work, we need to put the employee first. And that is the new reality. These challenges will not go away. It will come back. It will surface in different times. And we need to keep the lessons. We thought that the camping arrangements were behind us. But what happened? This year, there was election. Because of the uncertainties, we didn't know which way it was going to sway, so the office had to, ask people to work from home for some time. But again, the production team, they could not work from home. So what did we do? We went back to camping arrangements for a week, and that was easy to do because we already had the template. And that is it. We need to, because these things will keep coming. This is the VUCA world. It will keep coming, and we need to ensure that we are prepared for these realities. Now, there are 4 important things that we need to be mindful of when we are looking at the realities of this new world. Combating the growing trend of mental health, really, really important. And when what I will call the pressure points, when the pressure points are taking place, it is affecting employees emotionally. It's affecting their mental state. And that is something that we need to be mindful of. They are not things that you will see without, or you would get to know without a conversation. And that is why it is important that in these times, we are promoting positive emotions within our workplace. And how are we doing that? These are not times when the line manager will decide not to care about the people that they are working with. These are times that we have to act with empathy and compassion. And I want to say that empathy is different from compassion, because with empathy, you don't have to act. You are feeling, you are feeling what the person is feeling. But beyond that, for example, during the cash scarcity, that was a serious pressure point for a lot of people. And we saw organizations that showed care and organizations that showed empathy. I'm sure, for some organizations, we probably have sent out an all-staff email, to say we are aware of the situation, you know, we hope that it would get better, blah, 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 and all that. But there are some organizations that went out of their way to make arrangements with banks to look for cash for their staff. And these are the organizations that the employee would want to stay with in these times. So these are not times that we can decide to just focus on the business without the employee at the heart of things. This calls for a different way of supporting our employees, and a different way that will make them know that this organization cares about me. And this is the only way that we can get that ownership and that discretionary effort from our employees. So promoting positive emotions, showing that you care, investing in relationships, it's really important. So when my colleague was telling me about the fact that, you know, all his friends have traveled, one of the things I was thinking of was that, you know, from what he said, what I was hearing was frustration. Probably his support system has reduced or crumbled. His network, you know, has also crumbled. If he had a community within the organization, would that have made things different? So it's important that we create organizations that, you know, people can build lasting friendships, lasting relationships in, making work meaningful. People want to enjoy what they are doing, and we need to interact more with our employees to find out how is the work going. Are they enjoying it? Are they finding it fulfilling? And one of the things I've started doing is it's really asking, as part of the onboarding, the people that are joining, why did you take that decision to join the organization? Because I want to understand the motivation. And what I tell them is that whatever it is that made you take that decision, those are things that you need to hold on to, you know, because that becomes your source of strength. You know, when the going gets tough, you can look back at those goals and know that, you know, this is the reason why I took that decision, and hold on to it. So it's important that, you know, people find meaning and purpose in their work, celebrating accomplishments. These are all things that can promote positive emotions within the workplace. And constant communication, it's really the winning strategy. These are times that we need to ask questions. We need to be closer to the employee. I like this quote by Peter Drucker, who says that the leader of the past was a person who knew how to tell. The leader of the future will be a person who knows how to ask. Who knows how to ask. We need to find out, how are you experiencing this? How is it situation going with your family? Because we want to have employees who can bring their best to the workplace every day. Not people who are present. You will see them physically, but their mind is on something else, or they are worried about something else. It is important that for our organizations to thrive, it means that the employee must also be in the right place to increase productivity. Championing work-life integration. That is also one important fact to note in this new world of work, especially for companies who are adopting hybrid or remote working strategies. In the past, we're talking about work-life balance. So it was like, do everything you want to do at work, and then also find time for your other interests, for family, for your social life or your spiritual life and all that. And then if you realize that you are spending more of the time at work and you're not finding enough time for those other obligations, then it's like it's an imbalance. In this new world of work, we cannot even be talking about a balance anymore. What the reality is calling for is integration. And we saw that during the COVID times. I mean, it was normal to be in a Zoom meeting and then you see a child's face pop up, you know, pop up by someone's. And then, I mean, everybody is, oh, hi, how are you? How are you? You know, it was normal because we understood that, you know, outside the office, a lot of things were possible. So it's important that that flexibility also remains with us, especially for organizations, you know, tech companies and, you know, consulting companies and all that are looking for, or that have adopted the hybrid or the remote work. I mean, it would be unreal to expect that someone who is working from home, you expect that the person to log in at 8, make sure that you have logged in at 8, and you are not doing anything else, you are not going anywhere, you probably just go and grab a quick tea or whatever, and continue logging in till 5. It is not possible. I mean, during the COVID times, there are times we are in a meeting and someone is preparing a lunch for the family, and it was okay. So we are seeing this work-life integration take place in this new world of work, and we must be able to embrace these things. But we should also be mindful of the fact that there still need to be some boundaries. And therefore, I mean, if you have a boss who has insomnia and sending you a mail at 12 or at 1, you should not be, you should not think that you have to respond immediately. I mean, there has to be those barriers. Those barriers still need to be respected. But the truth is that work and life is actually being harmonized in the new world of work. Shaping a culture of inclusion. That is also very important in this new world of work, to be able to get the best from our employees. We need to be able to make all the voices heard. Everyone bringing their ideas on board. I remember some years back in my previous organization, we had launched e-learning. And of course, it was a breakthrough for HR. We're happy that, you know, we had launched e-learning. After 3 months, when we checked the utilization, we realized that the call center agents were not using it. And we're like, why were the call center agents not using it? So when we delved in, we realized that with their schedule of work, because once they come in for their shifts, they log on, they are receiving calls, and there is no way you can be doing an e-learning in between receiving calls. So they were not using it. The only time that they could use it was probably when they were in their staff bus going home. But then it wasn't enabled to be used on the mobile phone. It was just restricted to the laptop. And then in the call center, they were using desktops anyway, so they could not even use it at all outside the office. So we had to now go back to negotiate with the vendor to get it enabled on mobile phone so that they could also use. But if we had looked at all the segments of our employees and designed with everyone in mind, then we would have achieved inclusion from the very beginning, not wait till at a time when we realized that certain segments were cut off before coming to correct the situation. So it's important that, and of course, that is also design thinking and implementation, ensuring that all the voices are heard. So it's important that we design with the outliners. For a lot of the times, we are concentrating on the head office, and we do everything from the head office. But then we also need within the workplace, because everybody wants to feel part of, and that is where ownership also strives. Cultivating a growth mindset. It's also very important. It's something that we need to inculcate within our organizations. And people need to understand that the times are dynamic, and employees have to be flexible enough to be able to reskill, to be able to upskill, to be able to learn new ways of doing things. As HR people, we also need to lead the way and make our management also understand that things are changing and we cannot keep doing things the old way. So of course, our career development resources are key. Learning management systems, coaching and mentoring programs, all these things are needed to be embedded within the organization. We need to be able to tap into untapped potentials of our people. And how do we do that? By giving them exposures on projects, exposures on different assignments to be able to bring out those untapped potentials. So, to conclude, just as YF said, we need to reinvent with a human focus. The key is to put the employee at the center, and once we do that, our organizations will grow exponentially. And if we don't do that, then we are limiting the ability of our organizations to deliver on their objectives. And unless people get to know you as human, they won't trust you to go through the hard times with you. Thank you very much.
You will agree with me that it's okay to give one more round of applause for that engaging talk and very practical one for that matter. Thank you so much, Ilaria Okolo. Thank you. She made mention of the fact that the trends shaping the new era, we need to keep an eye on that, and to keep fine-tuning your lessons and experiences. The one that caught me the most, he said, leaders of the past is who knows how to tell of the future than the one who knows how to ask. So help me ask your neighbor, how you dey? That was a bit silent. One more time, let me ask your neighbor, how you dey? So what did they say? What did they say? What did they say now? One more time, let me look at that your neighbor and say, are you fine? Okay, help me ask that your neighbor, are you having a good time? Even if you are not having a good time, dinner is ready. Dinner is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the last speaker for tonight. And it is with so much joy that we want to receive him as he brings his wealth of expertise and exposure in the HR space. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Mr. Adeyemi Ajayi, CEO, Exitom Consulting Limited, as he brings his wealth of exposure to share with us.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to specially recognize Wale Adediran. Is he still around? Okay. You know, when you see elders, you respect them. And I want to also thank Ascentech for this invitation. I also want to recognize the speakers who have gone ahead of me to say almost everything I'd wanted to say. So please, I think I will spare you quite some time, but I'll be coming from a different dimension. One of the things that we discovered as far back as 2019, December 2019, before COVID, is that the world is going to change. So when ChatGPT and all those things, I call it ChatGPT. Okay, that's what I call it. So I call it ChatGPT. Now, one thing I want you to know is we have not seen anything yet in the world of technology. It's like a woman that is pregnant. Yes, they said they don't scan, she's going to give birth to twins and all that. But again, there are certain level of uncertainties that would be happening to us. Now, I'll be talking about the battle between AI and humans. Now, when I brought up this, a lot of people say, oh, there's no battle. There won't be any battle. How many of you know that there are regulations, there are calls for regulations now going on about artificial intelligence worldwide? I can wake up and speak into phone, and Emmanuel Michael will think it's his son speaking to him. And you know, there are a lot of identity manipulations, all that going on. But let's look at the trust in artificial intelligence. India is the country that trusts most in artificial intelligence all over the world. You know, I think the survey was done for about 17 countries. That was last year. Now we have China, we have South Africa, we have Brazil, we have Singapore, we have United States, we have Germany, we have Israel. Can you see the BRICS there? The BRICS countries. Brazil, except for Russia. You can see India there, you can see China. And I'll tell you, you can see South Africa there. Someone said, a military intelligence personnel, he said, the war we're going to fight in the future is not a war of atomic bomb. It's the war of artificial intelligence. How many of you know that there are things, weapons designed as mosquito that can kill human in microseconds? You think it's a mosquito. It can pick your DNA, it can run your DNA test unknown to you within a very short time. And you will kill it, you think it's mosquito. So the trust in AI, and don't be surprised why we have India. Because over the world, India is rated one of the top tech hubs in the world. I'm sure you know that. And it's growing. But Nigeria is emerging. We'll catch up with India very soon. So this is how AI will change our world. I just want to focus on the ones that concerns us as HR. Employment. 32% of employment activities will be managed by HR. It's happening now. Some young Nigerian guys approached me some weeks ago. We were having conversations, and they came up with some very crazy ideas. I told them, I said, they should go away. Let me go and pray first. Now, what happened was they told me, they said they want a situation where you can hire within 24 hours. And I said, how is that possible? They run me through what AI can do. And these guys mean business. So AI is going to change the way employment will happen. It's going to change transportation. How many of you know that by now they've started testing robotic pilots? How many of you know that? They're testing robotic pilots. You know, and these pilots have a higher level of accuracy and trust when it comes to navigation. How many of you know that the 5th generation aircraft all over the world, the B-52s that are going out, and all those new generation aircraft, they are not human manned. It's not planned to be manned by any human. So, in a nutshell, we may not have too much military men anymore, especially those that will be in that flight section, talking about transportation. Another that will happen is personal relationship. AI is going to control about 15% of our relationships. How many of you know with ChatGPT, sorry, I'll call it ChatGPT. I almost wanted to mention GPT. You know, you can cook any kind of food you want. How many of you know that? Yeah, I have the one on my phone, and I just said, oh, somebody said, how can you cook egusi soup? I just went to, it told me everything to do. But you know the difference between ChatGPT and Siri that you can ask? Siri will point you to the source. whereas ChatGPT will process the information for you. Now, there is one part that science will always leave for man. That is the part of human intelligence. Nothing can beat human intelligence. Nothing. Okay, let me move fast. Now, this is how AI will go rogue. We have Indians believing that in 2023, AI will go rogue, and it has started already. Last year, March, the age of artificial intelligence was the thinking of a 6-year-old child. By June last year, it has grown to 9-year-old child. By December, it was thinking like 27-year-old person. As at 2 weeks ago, because I've been following certain trend, they said AI can think more than a professor. So AI, do you know that artificial intelligence now recode itself? How many of you know that? They recode themselves. They redesign their own codes. They redesign their codes to based on information they receive. Okay? So let me move very fast. There's belief that it's going to wreak havoc. Some of the first people that advanced artificial intelligence, they are now afraid. They are calling for regulations. Some people are saying we should shut it down now before it causes trouble. Because there are a lot of manipulations going on. How many of you know again that they've done it to such an extent that artificial intelligence at workplace can be used to monitor even what you're doing in your house? Yes. And that is a lot of things that will happen. Let me move quite very fast. So in HR, there was a survey done by SHRM saying that 64% of HR professionals believe that their companies will use AI as tools. 85% employers believe that AI will drive automation for them. It will help efficiency. In 5 years, 25% of companies will use automation AI in recruiting and hiring. 66% of CEOs think AI can boost HR. 50% of HR executives agree that AI can transform HR. 92% of HR leaders plan on using AI to acquire talents. Now, there is a question I asked myself. Sometimes in 2019, I was opportuned to interact with robots somewhere in Lisbon. And you know, when you get to a point that somebody knows something about you, you know the typical Yoruba 911. You know the typical Yoruba 911. Egba mi o. You know, I was interacting with this robot. The robot was telling me the name of my wife, the date of birth, the date of birth of my children, my flight hours, every information about me. And I asked, the name of the AI is Thomas. By the way, we don't know the agenda, so we assume that they are extension of humans. And I asked a question that, okay, well, how did you come know about me? He said the moment I fed my information into the technology space, they can easily pick it. Now, let me tell you this. When I get to a point, I'm going to explain some things to you. There is no hiding place anymore. No hiding place anymore. You know, by the time this robot took me through certain thinking, you can interact with this robot. You can ask about what is happening in United Nations and all that. It will interact with you. I don't know whether to use it or he or she, but permit me to use one. Okay. Now, I have two very beautiful Nigerian women, Eniola and Rebecca. They had a research on artificial intelligence last year from Birmingham University. They said the fusion of artificial intelligence with human resource management practices is altering how companies recruit, manage, and engage their workforce. With the use of artificial intelligence, machines are now able to make, please note that, machines are now able to make decisions based on historical data. Ordinarily, technology is supposed to provide information for you, but artificial intelligence is now even advising you, but leaving you with the option of taking alternatives out of their suggestions to you. So if you want to recruit now, an AI can give you 3 top candidates and tell you these are the best, and this is the one you should choose first, but it's leaving you to take the final decision. So as much as we have artificial intelligence, human intelligence is still coming top. Now, these are some areas. I'll just mention 2 areas where AI will impact our lives. First, you know, at times it takes a number of days or months to recruit. But with AI, you can recruit within a short time. It can speed up recruitment process, reduce recruitment cost, enhance employee experience at the point of recruitment. Then again, streamline hiring process. It can also do background checks for you. It can also do what we call cross-border hiring. So if you're looking for expert traits, AI has been designed in such a way that it can go all over the world to get somebody for you and tell you this person is from New Zealand, from Germany, from Japan, and suit for what you need. It will also eliminate bias in recruitment. You know, there are some biases that come with recruitment. You say, oh, this person is tall, is fair, is beautiful, is short, is from my place. But with this, there will be a lot of elimination. There are companies working on this. You see the list of these companies: Paradox, IRView, ICIMS, Textio, Phenom People, JobVite, a lot of them. You know, they are working on all these recruitment processes. Now, in terms of training and development, AI is also being deployed. You have accurate training needs analysis. There was a time that there's this machine that does psychometric analysis online when you go, but it has now advanced with the use of AI. It will not only tell you psychometric analysis of your situation now, it will predict certain behavior that you can have in some years. It will tell you that you're likely, if you go under certain depression, you may become a smoker. So to avoid being a smoker, don't get to this threshold. You know, we're seeing all these things happening. Curriculum design is even easier now for those of us in L&D. I mean, for myself, I've used AI to do content search, research, design, curriculum design. It can also be used to track your learning progress, analysis of employee metrics. Let me tell you something about metrics and analytics. You see, the use of Excel, SQL, all those things are now going into AI because they have their inbuilt design that if you deploy it at workplace, it can easily give you information about what can happen, what has happened, and what is likely going to happen. All these are happening. We have other companies already developing some of these AIs, but that's not where I'm going to. Now, what is the future of AI in HR? Now, analytics will become easier and better because you have a lot of data gathering that can be done at the back end. You can improve HR effectiveness and efficiency. You can personalize employees' experience. There will be changes in HR competencies. Lara spoke about all this. And YF has spoken about all these leadership competencies. Emmanuel Michael has spoken about it. So I don't want to go into all those competencies. But I'll just get to a little where I will mention some things that we need to know as HR practitioners. There will be deeper interaction and reliance on AI. We are going to have AI employee. And I think some of you are aware of that. I don't know if you know about this hotel. I don't know whether it's in Japan or China, where when you get into that hotel, you will not meet human being. Yeah, I think they call it Zoom or Zoo Hotel or something, where it is, once you want to eat food, you just punch it, and you have your food being brought by a robot. You know, you cannot tell robot that take it back. You know, I watch a skit of, you know, somebody, you know, this zoo school, I think they converted it to Yoruba, what's it called? To Yoruba language. So robot brought food for this guy, and the guy said, this is not the kind of soup I asked for now. He now said, take it back. Sorry for those who don't understand Yoruba. The robot now said, meaning the robot was telling the guy that, are you mad? Was this not what you... So they're talking about the future of robots in Nigeria. You know. So that's by the way. But jokes apart, we're going to, very soon, you'll be sitting beside robots, working with robots, interacting with robots, AI, you know. Something that we should be very careful about is our social life is about to get narrower with this, you know. So we need to be very deliberate about social interaction, very, very deliberate about social interaction. Again, there'll be cross-border AI support, meaning you can have your line manager as artificial intelligence somewhere in India or Peru. Okay, it's your line manager, but you don't know whether it's human being or not. NetGram, a company in Japan, has hired its artificial intelligence as a CEO. Yes, you can look up that, on the internet. And their share price went up very high. Yes, within a short time. Their CEO is an AI, a robot. He holds meetings with them, he interacts with them, and is able to engage them very well. So, I am afraid. But I don't know how that will happen in Africa anyway. Okay? Now, we're going to have dynamic workforce planning. Performance management that will wait till the end of 3 months, all this will change to something that can happen within a short time. Maybe something you can track on a daily basis, if possible. Then we have lean HR. So please permit me to just go past this. Lara has spoken about this, please. Future battle. Would there really be a battle in the future? You see, the person that holds, gun, is not a weapon, or it's in the hand of somebody that understands it. I don't know if you understand. Gun is not a weapon until it gets into the hand of somebody that can operate it. That is when it will have value. You see, AI, with the fears and noise and all this, can deliver good or bad value depending on, who is in charge. And I will tell us, please, HR people, we need to open our minds to the good and the bad side that AI can do at workplace. There are certain thoughts that come about this battle. Let's ask ourselves these questions. Are jobs really threatened by AI? Now, I'll tell you some things that happened way back then with some colleagues of mine. Some people said some jobs will be lost. Truly, some jobs will go. But let me tell you, many jobs will be created. Hello? The head of fleet management in GE is my friend. I think the guy covers Asia and Africa. So we're having a conversation, and they're thinking at a certain time they're going to be using automated vehicle. You know, that vehicle that you enter inside and you say that you are going to Oshodi and you ask you which bus stop. Okay? Now, somebody said, that guy told me, he said they're already thinking that way. And I said, what's going to happen to all your drivers? He said they're going to become tech drivers. I said, tech driver, how? He said one of the things they are going to learn, instead of going on a road to be driving, they can sit in their office and know where their vehicles are at certain point in time. There will be tech driver designers. By the time you are building this tech, there will be some people that will just, their own brain is just to say, I know the road where the vehicle can follow, and they will support the builders, those that are building the AI at the background. I don't know if you understand my point. So, whether they like it or not, instead of doing the manual work, they now sit at their, table. They can now control where those cars are at each point in time. Things like compliance issues will start happening. The driver that doesn't care about traffic rules will now become a monitoring spirit. Permit me to use that word. Monitoring that this vehicle is not going inside water, is not crossing traffic. Do you understand? So jobs will totally change. So even if one driver is losing his job, there's possibility that you are going to have like 3 or 4 other job roles coming from it. But the truth is this: it will not happen in all industries. There are certain industries that currently now people are challenging the use of AI there, especially law. You know, there was this AI that was designed and it was used in the US to defend a case. Now they've sued that artificial intelligence. They sued the robot. They said because it doesn't have practicing license. They sued the robot. And the robot was saying, but I know everything you know. They said it doesn't matter. You need to have a practicing license. Again, they surveyed one of the areas where there will be minimization is in medicine. I don't know how many of us here, you say that you want to go and see doctor, and the doctor that will be talking to you will be AI. And it will tell you take 2 paracetamol in the morning, afternoon, and night. I can bet you, out of 10 people, 8 people will want to ask human doctor. and see what computer is telling me to drink. Should I drink it? I don't know if you agree with me. So we discovered that in some areas, there will be very serious struggle to really eliminate humans. So one thing we should start thinking as HR practitioners is, what are those jobs that are likely going to be reconfigured, that are going to be redesigned? We should be thinking ahead. How can we prepare? Yemi said something very, very germane that, I'm going to work on it as a research. He said, don't panic, plan. Because, you see, panic will bring confusion to your mind. Planning will make you to be more strategic. So please, all I'm telling you is that, please, don't panic. Plan. Plan concerning your own job roles. What are those areas that AI would change? Now, are lives at risk? Yes, no. It depends on how we come about it. Then, will AI be forever? AI has come to stay. The only thing is there will be regulations. You know, there is global data protection rights. Am I correct? Now, I discovered that AI leverages on data so much, meaning there has to be regulation on the data that it can use. There are certain questions you ask from AI. The AI will tell you that I cannot give you this information. I've tried it severally. It will tell me that go and ask CBN, I won't give you. Go and ask the bank, I won't give you. I was asking for the payroll of a particular company on AI, and he said that it's not designed to answer that question. And I know that this thing has limit. I don't know if you get my point. So it will not answer everything. You know what it will make us to become? It's going to challenge us to think better. It's going to challenge us to think better than the way it's been designed. And let me tell you, it's going to be a continuum. Let's say we're at this level of thinking. If AI goes up, it's going to challenge us to go up, and it will keep going like that. So a time is coming that the way we think is going to be very, very different. And I can challenge you that, see, nature creates everything for itself. Some of us here, our children that are 5, 10 years, 15 years old, they are more tech savvy than us. Am I correct? 10 years, 3, they are more tech savvy than us. Unlike my grandfather that I bought iPad for him in the village and he was using it to cut a wedu. I'm just joking anyway. There's actually, if you buy iPad and take it to those old people, they say, this is a very good board. They can use it to chop. But if you give it to a child of 3 years, what do you think will happen? They will open it. Some of them bypass your password. Am I correct? That is making me to think that there's a spiritual side to it, but I don't talk about that. Okay? But let's ask ourselves question, are businesses at risk? From risk management point of view, no. There will be rapid disruption in business space. So HR will not play a catch-up game. HR will never play a catch-up game. You know why HR will not play a catch-up game? For every rapid disruption in a business, human will be behind it. So you must be able to know the antecedent of human. Is the cost of maintaining AI sustainable? Absolutely. They are making AI cheaper and accessible for everybody. The question is, are we ready in Africa? Are we ready in Nigeria? We have challenges, infrastructural challenges. Some of these things, they leverage on internet. You know that? They leverage on but see, they're gradually bypassing the use of all those things now so that life can be easier for us. Now, why do we need to ask this question? AI is not currently regulated, at least global regulation. The age of AI is rapidly increasing. I think I mentioned that. Data and information breach is possible. Do you know AI can impersonate now? Yeah, AI can impersonate. So there are fears around that. Non-accuracy of some outcomes of AI we can see. In fact, the AI will tell you that some things I'm telling you may not be true, meaning go and find out yourself. Now, I did an experiment with the one I have on my phone. I asked the same question a few times, and it gave me different answers. And I got to know that they are still at test stage. So please don't over-rely on it. If you ask it, how do I cook ogbono soup, and it's telling you to go and buy a egusi to mix with it, there is an error. Just reply, tell the AI error message. Okay? Now, one of the dangers is about self-coding. if you are in the tech space, you will know that if a system can recode itself, that system is dangerous. It can hide the code from you. And if it gets to a point where it can recode itself and hide the code from you, then you have lost total control. So as much as possible, there is what we call enhanced IT security and data security now. So as the AI is changing itself, you need to be tracking it at the back end. Otherwise, the day you lose control of the AI recording itself, a lot of things will happen. So there's an increasing use of using AI and uncertainty surrounding AI. Can we match or win over AI? Now, let me quickly say this to us in HR space. HR is now beyond managing people. It's now managing technology. You get my point? Now, you're going to hire employee, you're going to also hire artificial intelligence to support what you do. But please, you need to be very careful in the decision you make. So that at the point of finding solution, you are not putting yourself in a more serious trouble. Ultimately, there are high level of uncertainties around these things for now. So if you have to use it, you have to be very careful. Do your research as much as possible. If you want to use it in recruiting, in performance management, fantastic. But please, you have to be very, very circumspect in your decision making. So, AI is not a threat, but, it can become a threat, but can create threats if not well managed. That is, if not well managed. It's not a threat on its own, but if not well managed, it can create threats, okay? Finally, I'll tell you, fear not. Let me tell you this before I leave. You know Motorola and Nokia story. When Motorola came out, they were all over the place. Now, Nokia told Motorola that, see, we're going to take over the market with digital, mobile phone. Motorola said that it's not possible, that we are in the market already, nothing will change the story. But everything changed overnight. While Nokia was still enjoying itself, BlackBerry came. Isn't it? And while BlackBerry was still dancing in the market, Apple said, no, Samsung entered. And while Samsung was still singing his own national anthem to commence the program, Apple jumped in. And what was the changing factor? Technology. Let me be honest to you. For us in HR, our brain is more than policy brain. In fact, policy may not be enough to manage people anymore. Policy may not be enough. Because you can write a policy yesterday, technology can be released today to rubbish that policy you wrote yesterday. Okay? So please, if you're a policy-driven HR, you should repent. The kingdom of AI is at hand. Okay? Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
One more time, can we please do a round of applause to our very grand final speaker for tonight, Mr. Adeyemi Ajayi, CEO, Exitum Consulting Limited. Thank you so much, sir. Help me tell the person beside you, say, fear not. Fear not. AI is not coming to take your job. It's coming to collaborate with you. One more time, help me tell your neighbor, say, fear not. And if you like fear, because fear will cause panic. And then panic will cause what? Trouble. Because one of the things that Mr. Ajayi made mention of is that don't panic, but plan. Did we get that? Don't panic, but... You say what, sir? Say that again. Oh, you borrowed Mr. YF's. All right, thank you, YF. Don't panic, but plan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're still celebrating Ascentech services at 10. And it's my humble delight to say thank you to each and every one of you. I know we all like celebration. I like celebration. Do you like celebration? All right, let me tell you, before this year ends, you will also celebrate. Somebody said, am I being prophetic? Well, whatever you call it. But whether you like it or not, whether small or big, you will also celebrate this year. How do you say this word? It's my turn. How do you say that in Igbo? Anybody here? Just say it out. Okay, what? You want? Come, ma. Come. Quickly come, ma. Please, come. Come. How do you say it's my turn in Hausa? Anybody? Anybody? In Hausa? Anybody? In Igbo? Okay.
Ogem.
Everybody, let me hear you say Ogem. All right. What of in Hausa? Anybody? No. You didn't come. We didn't invite anybody from the north. You want to try? Please come, sir. I hope you don't come and give us Spanish version. This one that, meanwhile, YF, you are dressed in that way. If not that I know you very well. In Hausa, it's my turn.
Loko Chinani.
Everybody say Loko Chinani. We will Google it. Or we will ask AI. Because you may be giving us error. Right? It's correct. How did you know, sir? Are you AI? Okay, so how do you say it's my turn in Yoruba? But one more time, ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together for yourselves? And while you are doing that, can you please put your hands together for each and every speaker that has graced this platform and this mic today? Come on, we can do that better than that. Let's celebrate each of our amazing speakers who have shared from their wealth of experiences and years of exposure. Thank you very much, each and every one of you. Right about now, we are bringing it to a close. But before we close it, we would like to take congratulatory messages. And to do us the honors of doing the first congratulatory message. And while we're doing that, we're just going to take 3 of them. 3 of them, we'll take pictures and then do presentations. And then it will be dinner time. Please do not be in a hurry to go. The food there has been prepared specifically for you. And remember, you just said Emilio Con, so it's your turn to eat. So please eat before you go. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make welcome to take the first congratulatory message. Very special guest who has joined us from the Lagos State Services and Commission, the Commissioner herself, the Honorable Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, for a congratulatory message. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me put your hands together for Mrs. Yetunde Arobieke. She will be doing this for 3 minutes, and then we'll do the other things with her before she goes. One more time, please put your hands together for my Honorable Commissioner as she comes up. Do you want to come up here or here? Which one is okay for you? You do it here. All right, ma. One more time, let's celebrate the beautiful Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Ascentech, what can I say? Congratulations. 10 years is no joke, it's a decade. And I wish you more successes. I think I met you when I became a commissioner, and I told the employment department to call all recruitment experts, to which you were at that meeting, and it was a successful one. You equally attend all our summit. And actually, when I was coming here, I thought we were coming to, even talk about solution to unemployment problem, because that's really my concern. But what I met is relaxed HR experts discussing the way forward. And that's fantastic in itself, but don't forget the fact that there are so many people out there that do not have jobs. And all this AI will reduce their chances of getting one. Anyway, the world will get better. Thank you very much. God bless. Have a wonderful time. Ascentech, once again, congratulations. 10 years of fantastic service.
Thank you very much, ma. Before you go, ma. Just before you go, ma. Don't worry, ma. Your fears will be taken care of. That's why we are professionals. AI will not take your children's job. You will anywhere you find women, they will always be concerned for children. Thank you so much, ma. One more time, let's put our hands together for the Honorable Commissioner. And we're going to quickly do a presentation of the plaques. Yeah. So I'm going to call one of the keynote speaker actually to come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Yemi Fashion, thank you for joining us at the 10th anniversary of Ascentech Services and for your contributions to the world of HR and for the many shared experiences you give us.
Yes. On behalf of Ascentech, and really to mark their 10 years of fantastic service in Nigeria. And you've been because I love all that you said. I listened and, I was taking notes there, all that you said about it. And you actually got me interested in what we are here to do, because I just thought Ascentech invited me to just come and have a nice time being there 10 years. But I gained a lot. I need to let you know, I gained a lot. I have more knowledge about the HR world, and I actually want to say, once again, Ascentech, congratulations. You're welcome. On behalf of Ascentech.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, Mr. Yemi Fashion. One more before you go, Ma. One more before you go, Ma. We'll take pictures, yes. CNN Al Jazeera, please don't miss this moment. You can watch this picture on DSTV, channel 224. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. All right. One more, Ma, before you go. One more, Ma. Ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly call on the next person, Mr. Emmanuel Michael. We largely call him EM3. So please come forward. Oh, why the three? Oh, yes. He will come and answer it by himself.
On behalf of Ascentech, marking their 10th years anniversary, and for your wonderful contribution in terms of your deliveries. What I'm talking about is, you came up here you delivered, and I took some note. All your speakers are notable people. And I say, I enrich myself this evening. Thank you very much. On behalf of Ascentech, I present this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. While we're taking those pictures, let me invite forward the immediate past president of CIPM for the next set of presentation, Mr. Wale Adediran, FCIPM. He will be doing a congratulatory message also, and then we'll do another set of presentation. Thank you so much for coming, sir.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, all I can say is schedule has challenged all of us. It's easy to have regular income that's guaranteed. You expect your paycheck every last week of the month. But to start an initiative that creates opportunities for others is a different kettle of fish. I recall when he started, it's like, what is this stranger looking for? In a pond that the sons and daughters of the soil have not been able to fish enough from, then you now have a stranger coming into that same pond to fish. Of course, some will think by the time he experiences the commotion of Lagos, it will calm down. His body will calm down. But here he is. Honestly, he's more Nigerian than most of us. Can you please give it up for him? You know, in HR, we talk about probation. So probation runs sometimes from 3 months to 6 months, depending on the level. And for Sheju, I remember when he started, we were thinking, okay, give him 6 months. Then the 3 months became a year. And I recall, was it the 3rd anniversary? He invited us, and I met a gentleman there that was stolen from us. And I felt like this man is not only getting established, he's also claiming the big talents in the market. Give him another 2 years. By 5 years, you will know. Even some marriages don't last beyond that. But here we are 10 years after. Not only has he established a great service providing business, he has managed to assemble some of the biggest talents in this town, and he has retained them over the years. One of them came to greet me this evening, and I'm like, so you are still here? That is what creative leaders and entrepreneurs will always do. So all I can say is congratulations. I am sure in another 10 years we will be back, probably in Abuja. Madam Commissioner will be in Abuja then. She will be close to Aso Rock. And we will celebrate 20th of not only Ascentech, but also Ascent Force will be 10 years by then. So to 10 and 20, can we please give it up for him? Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And let me invite, sorry, sir, before you go, like I said, you will be doing a presentation before you go. Sorry. So let me invite forward one of our very delightful speaker. She spoke on HR competencies and the in the now of work. Please help me invite forward Omolara Yeku as we appreciate and celebrate her. Thank you so much.
I should actually withhold this. Lara is supposed to be working from home today. And she resumed, last time I checked on the system, she resumed around 9 a.m., which means she should have worked till 6 p.m. But I got here, and here I saw Lara. So I don't know if I should be giving her this or a query. But of course, we are lucky to have Lara. And she's just been wonderful. And you had a little taste of it tonight. So look at her very well. She's going nowhere. Congratulations, Lara. We're proud of you. Thank you for sharing with us. I learned a lot. It will reflect in your paycheck.
A picture before you go, sir. And while that is up, don't forget, one of the things we learned today is about AI. So my president, you remember that Madam Ilaria, she spoke about work-life balance and work-life integration. So if you would please recall that lesson. Work-life integration allows Lara to be here. All right, please let's make welcome to receive Ilaria Okolo for our presentation. Thank you so much.
You've answered the query for Lara already. Ilaria, when she walked into the hall, she said, your face looks familiar. I said, yours did not only look familiar, but I'm familiar with you. I know you very well. And I know Hilaria, it's from some way back. Recently, she turned golden. So this is coming at the right time, because when this vision started, she was only 40. Life begins at 40. And here we are, she's 10 years of age. And she's there to impact all of us. And again, thanks for enriching us. We'll invite you for the 20th anniversary, but it will be in Abuja. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you, sir. And happy birthday, Hilaria. Wish you all the very best. Welcome to the 5th floor and the beginning of many, many more amazing things. If you agree with me, help Ilaria say confirm. If you too will celebrate 50, let me hear you say confirm. If you are 50, you will do 60. Let me hear you say confirm. If you are 60, you will do 80. Let me hear you say confirm. If you will do 100 and 120, let me hear you say confirm. That man at the back, the voice went down. It's okay. All right, let me invite forward for the next set of presentation. But first, to give a testimony now for 2 minutes, Dr. Olumimuyiwa Oludayo, MCIPM. Let's put hands together for him as he comes forward. He's been a part of the Ascentech family for years now, and we also want to appreciate you for all that you do in the HR space. The first time I met him, he was on the board and the registrar of Covenant University. One more time, we celebrate you, sir. He's moved on ahead to be many, many things, so thank you for all that you do. All right?
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to you all. Madam Commissioner, good to see you again. Thank you for the many privileges you've given me to express myself under your ministry. I'm glad that we were able to allay a bit of your fears by galvanizing over 50,000 youths and putting about over 2,200 of them in jobs through the GIPP program. Congratulations, man. Yes. Let me also celebrate the Director of Employment there. We're doing more. Thank you. More work for me. Let me also celebrate Mrs. Yabo Seriki. Thank you so much, madam. Seeing you here was a great delight. We worked together, and the rest of the team from Ministry of Wealth Creation. I would not cease to, pardon me, sir, to acknowledge the CIPM family that is here. Our IPP, Mr. Wali Adediran, who helped me to break into that institute to do phenomenal things. I'm also acknowledging in absentia my president, who is not here now. But our CE is here, our Registrar Chief Executive, Mr. Inayo, and our team. Thank you so much for being here. It's not a vote of thanks, but let me help acknowledge the Indian community here, acknowledging you for the support that you have provided to Shiju and his team. It's apparent that anywhere you go, you always stand by your own. I hope when I go to Canada, they will stand with me. All right. On behalf of everyone that has passed through Ascentech, and I want to speak clearly about some of our graduates from Covenant University that you first brought into my office then, way back 2014, 2015. And when I saw them, initially I thought, okay, are they the ones coming to pitch? And then I saw you with them. The joy on their faces made us glad to partner with you. And at that time, we started to partner even when we were not sure what your future looked like. We continued to relate with you. We had hope that if our own products were with you, there would be light. Or can I tell you that they did not just bring light to you, you made their own light shine brighter. And so that was what they found when they worked with you. And so on behalf of those people that you have given an opportunity to shine, and for the rest of the people that you have placed in jobs in this past 10 years, to the employers who have had to also be rested because you help them to find the right talents that will help them propel their vision, we are grateful. And for me personally, I thank you, Shiju, for the gift of friendship. We have broken cola, we have had lunch, we have had dinners, we have talked business. I met you when you were really big. And the day I saw you lean, I thought you had a problem. But you told me, Muyiwa, don't worry. This is me keeping fit. I hope to learn from you in the next 10 years so I can button my suit properly. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Appreciate you.
So I'm going to invite forward our last speaker for the night. You already know. He did justice to his assignment. Please make welcome to receive his plaque, Mr. Adeyemi Ajayi, CEO, Exitom Consulting Limited.
Okay, well, I mean, in the spirit of saying something while you present, Mr. Adeyemi Ajayi is also one who has been a benefactor to me. And when people believe in you, you should celebrate them. That I have the privilege to give you this in acknowledgement of your service today. Just believe that it's also me giving you something, not just Ascentech. Thanking you for all that you have done for me. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Adeyemi, if I were you, I will still expect my bag of souvenir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So we'll take the final one, the final congratulatory message, and from the Office of the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, the Deputy Director of Labor, ladies and gentlemen, Barrister Maureen Ovi. Come on, let's put hands together for her as she comes up to give a congratulatory message for 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I want to say congratulations to Ascentech. In fact, when his file was passed on to me 10 years back in my office to license him, I looked through his file. I said, this is a promising company. And we gave him the license to operate. I want to say we don't regret it one bit. He has contributed his quota. He's been so wonderful. All these past years, he's been consistent. And heading our new Migrant Resource Center now, we're getting to meet again in the corridor of getting jobs for our job seekers. Madam Commissioner, we also need to meet and work together because it's our passion to ensure that young Nigerians get jobs. They don't just stay after graduation. I was a bit late actually because of a program we had, employability training in one of the communities. And it's our great pride and joy that he's doing so well. And like he said, in the next 10 years, we'll also come back to celebrate. We want to thank you and your team for the wonderful work you're doing in Nigeria. And we hope you do more and get more people along with you to even do better. Thank you very much. And congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Barrister Maureen OV. So I would like to invite forward all the employers of Ascentech Services Limited. Employees. HR. You people are powerful. You say staff, they say employee. You say human, they say no, personnel. Powerful people. All the employees of Ascentech Services, please, let's come forward. Please, let's put hands together for them. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the faces behind the work that we do in Ascentech Services Limited, making sure that all that has been shared today is well delivered. Please come to the cake. It's your cake. If you don't come to it, I'll cut it for you and take it home. And that will be led by Mr. Shiju himself. Cameramen from CNN and BBC Al Jazeera, make sure you don't miss this moment. And while the cake is on, we want to very specially thank all our speakers once again for doing justice to their topics and for engaging our minds in thought-provoking engagements as we have shared a very good time this evening. Some of us can come up on stage. You can start according to your height. Some of us that are vertically challenged and all that are not as tall as me, it's okay. You can come up. Okay, those of you that are well-fed, typical African people, you can make room. Just stand according to your gugurungu. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let me know if we're ready. Cameraman, good? Are we good? Congratulations, congratulations. Champagne popping. Congratulations. Congratulations. Don't worry, Boko Haram is not in the building. We are celebrating. Congratulations. All right. Are we ready, cameramen? 1, 2, go. Everybody say Ascentech Services. 1, 2, go. One more time. Come on, let's put hands together for these beautiful people and this amazing company. 10 years, no beans. One more picture. One more picture. Congratulations, Ascentech. Congratulations. And let me invite, immediately after the pictures for the vote of thanks, Okpeoluwa Adeyemi, Talent Acquisition Manager, Ascentech. Ascentech, put hands together for your own now, for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone, once again. From the theme at Ascentech and the management, we would like to say a very big thank you for honoring us today, for coming out to celebrate with us, And we pray that you all get back to your respective destinations in peace, and hope to see you in 10 years' time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you all 10 years' time. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, just immediately after now, just hold on a bit, please. We will ask everyone to please make their way to where we had the tea break. Peradventure, you didn't meet us at that time. It's just on your way, exit the door. So we can just file out, take our meals. There's cocktail, there's mocktail, and then we can come back to our seats and have a wonderful, relaxed dinner. There'll be music, and you can enjoy yourself, take pictures, take someone's number, say hi to somebody, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my singular honor being on this side of the hall, hosting you all on this very special occasion. We want to say a very special thank you to all our amazing speakers, from the keynote speaker to all other speakers, and of course, the very, very delightsome from the Ministry Commission of Employment, our own Honorable Commissioner for Wealth, Creation and Employment, Mrs. Yetunde Arobieke, and all our team members for joining us. Also, Mr. Wale Adediro for staying all through to the end. FCIPM past president, Mr. Uludayo, Mr. Mwewa Dayo, and of course, everyone who spoke on this podium today. On behalf of Ascentech Services, thank you, everyone. My name is Tokpe Aregbeshala. I'm the one they call the MC with MSC. Until I see you in the next event, thank you so much. God bless you.
trendybeats.com.
You know.
Tune into the king of songs and blues.
Initiating rage process.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me. 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 I'm sorry for who won't be my matter. Sorry, I'm only human. So make nobody para. Like say I carry woman. She na man way I for carry. Fuck all the rumors. I be dead when I talk, say I be pastor. If you know you it can walk. If it's not, I got talk. Call only go. I did your day. Me, I did for the day, girl, I'm unavailable. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
Complicating my life. I don't have no time, Shania. Come see me shining. Got too many birds on my IG. I'm changing my life. Oh, how my mama proud in me. She got me going. This friend took all my freedom. Cause I'm a big for Bella. Straight for everyone. Shaq, go jealous. Got a big banana. I'm a big for Bella. Straight for everyone. Shaq, go jealous. Got a big banana. Cause I'm a big for Bella. Straight for everyone. Shaq, go jealous. Got a big banana. I'm a big for Bella. Straight for jealous. But the fun is chickadee.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me. I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
More music on trendybeats.com. Beats.com.
Fuse, Mr. Producer.
Oh yeah, shake it, baby, don't break it. You took your mama, now I must make it. Oh yeah, shake it, baby, don't break it. You took your mama, now I must make it. Oh yeah, don't stop, take it, 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 don't stop. Yeah. Sexy malato, oh plenty walako. Big bros is getting a lato. Keep it lucky, no lado. Agbani direct go. How you think a mango one let go? This your beauty loud, it gon' echo. Oh to let your DB Fedeco. Paparazzi, they want snap palm. All the boys them say they want tap palm. When you wiggle child, you can't clap palm. Me I want to bet, I want nap palm. Gina Goro, Wagba Poro. Malo Mafimi way or Goro. Come to Koro, check a sorrow. No they dummy baby, show your color. Oh yeah, shake it, baby don't break it. You took your mama, now I must make it. Oh yeah, shake it, baby don't break it. You took your mama, now I must make it. Oh yeah, don't stop, take it, 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 don't stop. Pese beat man over. Boja hero ati bubalowo. I don't give a damn, no. I just wanna eat it, no. Oga osigmole, onibade, emi irumole. Jackie Wabe, wait it. titty, oh me titty, shake it titty, don't break it titty. I like it titty, don't stop it titty. Just sleep on the bicycle, need titty. Obania dajo, obania fagu, dirty and no shame ramagu. Ekwato gini mo mamu, our voice your London go on. I shake it, baby don't break it. You took your mama and I must make it. I shake it, baby don't break it. You took your mama and I must make it. I don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't. Don't stop, don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't. Don't stop. Took your mama and I must make it. Break it, you took your mama and I must make it. Don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't. Don't stop, don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't stop, take it, don't I don't.
More music on trendybeats.com.
It's Young John, the wicked producer.
Hey, yo, more wobble, wobble. Hey, yo, more wobble, wobble. No good information. The new radio, the new telly. What the Talova, Baba, oh Baba, with the low body. To get this money today, well every night and day. Oh Baba, with the low body.
I don't come kilometers. I don't walk that many kilometers. Learn from the teacher. I don't take for the game, she no pitas. I decide bad mind from a distance. Not this sweet, I be all on my pitas. Oh, Doguni Misha, show you the confirm for your speaker. This time I call chopsticks for assistance. Show we they blow your mind, Afghanistan. Kilometers. I don't come kilometers. I don't walk that many kilometers. Learn from the teacher. I don't take for the game, she no pitas. I decide bad mind from a distance. Not this sweet, I be all on my pitas. When you come, make I give you digits. When's the last time somebody did it like this? Too much ice on my bumper clap wrist. That's why everybody hating on me like Chris. Kilometers. I don't come kilometers. I don't walk that many kilometers. People think I be Johnny, just come. Like I just got rich, like my money just come. Send them back to where they come from. For talking like the product of a torn condom. Southside no come from, me no care, my brother. One side, sit down for one chair, my brother.
DK Group of companies has been doing business with Ascentech for about 7 years plus. You know, I got introduced to Ascentech through a friend, and since then we've continued the business relationship till date.
Gorage Nigeria has been working with Ascentech for over 7 years now.
I actually came in contact with Ascentech shortly before COVID, so I think 2018. The company was introduced to me by a friend who has been using the company before now, and because of the needs of my organization at that time, I was to get young talents, external talent that will mix up with our internal talent to bring the business forward. And I made the contact, the team came to me, we discussed at length, and I was surprised with the promptness and the level of delivery. And since then, we have been partnering in the business of recruitment and training.
Ascentech has helped in the aspect of learning and development, training, and talent sourcing.
They have helped us in recruiting, in outsourcing, and also training of training, basically.
It's not easy feat to run and sustain a business in Nigeria, as we all know, but they've stood the test of time, and Ascentech services have been amazing.
I would say that They're very professional in their work, and they keep to time. When issues come out, they are very fast in ensuring that the issues are settled. I will basically pinpoint when it comes to the outsourcing part of it. So they have they are sourcing, taking them as part of their staff, which of course we are, and then they will always go ahead to train them and then do a follow-up to ensure that they are okay, so that they can work professionally at the job too.
Supply chain supervisors and the recruitment of accountants and some operational staffs. That means it has cut across my functionality as an organization. So that has, in its own way, injected fresh idea into our business and has helped us in our service delivery to our massive customer in the market.
I wish Ascentech happy anniversary, happy 10th year anniversary, and many more productive years in Nigeria.
It's my joy to be part of the vision of Ascentech and to be part of the anniversary. I wish them happy anniversary for their 10 years anniversary.
I wish Ascentech all the best. I wish Ascentech continuous success. I wish Ascentech, greatness.
My name is Maya Halabu. I'm the managing partner for Pistachio Foods and Slow Cook. We own and operate restaurants in Victoria Island, RSVP and Slow. We have many projects coming up, and we've been working with Ascentech for the past couple of years. I would like to wish Ascentech a very happy 10th anniversary. We're really looking forward on working with them on coming projects, whether it's related